Or are either of you reading anything about the law of attraction right now? So you said, I basically self-sabotage in high-pressure work, relationship situations, and want to get a better handle on my subconscious. Great question. Great question. So here's what I would recommend doing. So I had mentioned this earlier in previous lives. I'm not sure if you were on for this, but I want you to grab a pen and paper and write out my new self-image and list how you'd like yourself to be. For instance, one of the ideas that I had, or I have in my subconscious that I listed in my own self-image, is that the higher the pressure is, the better that I perform. So again, the higher the pressure is, the better I perform. I was in sales, and so at times there would be a lot of pressure to hit your quotas, etc. And not only that, I was part of a number one econ team, or the number one econ team in the United States for my industry. And so there could be a lot of pressure at times to hit our sales quotas. So that was one of the affirmations I would tell myself. The more pressure there is, the better I perform. So I want you to grab a pen and paper, write out hello, good to have you on here. Right now we're talking about how to do well in high pressure work relationship situations. So I want you to grab a pen and paper and write out my new self-image and list that you do great in high pressure environments. In fact, you excel in all environments and all conditions. You always get along great with everybody and produce the highest outcomes. I want you to list how you would like things to be from this moment forward. And I want you to show yourself the end result every day and every night, in the morning and at night, of whatever this would look like. So is it you winning awards? Is it you shaking hands with somebody, completing the sale? Whatever it is, see the end result and feel it. Your subconscious responds to images and emotions. The more emotion that an image has, the faster it's going to be impressed on your subconscious, and your subconscious controls things such as your beliefs, your habits, and your bodily functions. So the faster it'll manifest in your life. That's one. Two, just as you did that for your self-image, again, write out my ideal career and list how you'd like your career to be and how you show up, so to speak, in your career, and show that to yourself as well. But constantly show yourself the image of you succeeding and then affirm it every day. And what's going to happen is it'll start to rewire your subconscious so that you do well in those situations. I want you to start showing yourself images of you being a winner. Conceive of yourself as a success. Don't ever, good to see you, Zach, on here. Don't ever show yourself images of you losing or doing well. If there's an area that you're not doing well in, such as this one that you've been able to consciously realize, create this new image, show it to yourself every day. Tell yourself that you're a winner, that you're the best, that you can succeed, that you're getting better and better every day in every way, and watch yourself soar. There's no reason that you can't be one of the top sellers in your field. I have terrible self-confidence also, even social anxiety. What could I work with to build this up? So I have a few things to say. So in one of my recent talks, I talk about how to overcome social anxiety. Social anxiety, first, anxiety in and of itself, for those of you who are watching this, it's misplaced enthusiasm. It's energy that wants to go outwards constructively, but is instead going inwards destructively. If that's the case, first, when you start to feel anxious, either take a few deep breaths to relax your body or go do something to get in motion and to get that energy flowing, but don't stay still. Now, I want to give you the following exercise to overcome your anxiety. And what's taking place right now is your subconscious, which always wants to keep everybody safe, it's associated massive amounts of pain to taking action, and massive amounts of pleasure to being at your current comfort level, your current area where you're safe, where, what your current reality. What you need to do is you need to flip the script, so to speak. You want to associate massive amounts of pleasure to taking action and massive amounts of pain to being stuck. So I want you to do this assignment. And I have it, by the way, in one of my videos. Send me a DM after this and I'll send you the video. I want you to grab a pen and paper and write out, what is all the pain I feel by being anxious? What is all the pain I feel by being anxious? And write out 3 to 5 minutes nonstop, how much it's costing you in terms of sales, relationships, missed opportunities, etc. And really write it out. It's going to make you feel like crap, but that's the purpose of this exercise. You want to associate massive amounts of pain to being anxious. Then I want you to shake yourself off, take a few deep breaths, jump around if you need to get the energy going, and then write out, what is all the pleasure I'll feel by taking action on what I want? What is all the pleasure I'll feel by taking action on what I want? And write nonstop for the next 3 to 5 minutes. Write about all the amazing opportunities, how much better your relationships are going to go, all the vacations and fun things you're going to do with your extra money. Really be in depth about this. What it's going to do is it's going to rewire your subconscious that taking action equals good and not taking action equals pain. And you're going to become an action-oriented individual. I would do this exercise with guys. I used to teach dating seminars, and I was a fantastic coach in this area. I would get stellar results with my guys. And this is one of the exercises I would have them do. And once they rewired and changed this, I would take these guys out, the guys who told me that they were scared to talk to women. And once they did this exercise, you would see them go and approach woman after woman after woman because their subconscious is now rewired for success. So that's one thing that I want you to do. 2, I had already alluded to it earlier. Do the new image idea, and write out that you have amazing self-confidence. I will pay you for helping me talk to girls. Are you in SF? I'm in San Diego, but we can set up some type of Zoom calls or something if you want to schedule coaching, and I'm happy to help you with that. So I want you to create a new self-image of yourself as succeeding with women. And then I want you to start taking, and if you want to fly down to San Diego, we can set something up where I help you out. And then I want you to, there was something else that I was going to recommend. Yeah, show yourself this image of you succeeding with women and add that into your self-image. I'm great with women, I'm confident. And then set up a series of small goals that you know you can hit. I mean, they could be very small. For instance, you just go and ask a stranger for directions, something really small, and just build on these small goals. And as you start to build on each one, your confidence will start to grow and your self-esteem will improve as well. Social skills, people need to realize, are a skill. They're a series of habits that people have practiced and they became proficient at them, and so they appear to be confident, and they are as a result of their continued practice. Nobody's just born naturally being good with women. You have to go and practice these skills, or any skill for that matter, and your confidence will come from your competence. So it's just about practicing until you get the hang of it, just like anything else, such as your ABCs. It just came from constant repetition. But again, start with the image. You know, the most important thing is the image of you succeeding, and watch things start to shift in your life. I also have a great dating book that I can send to you. Send me a DM and I list everything out, and we can set up coaching sessions. I can really help turn things around in this area. It doesn't have to be a source of pain. It can be a source of great pleasure, and it's an area that you can get fixed really, really fast. You can get rapid results quickly if you just know what to do and take action once you know what to do. So for those of you who have been tuning in, some people are jumping in and out. We're talking about the law of attraction and how to rewire your subconscious. If you have any questions, feel free to ask. Who can I work with to build this up? Also, I want you, this comes from Tony Robbins' work, start to be aware of what you do with your body. There's a thing called state control. What you do for you to control your state, there's 3 factors. There's your physiology, your focus, and your language. For you to feel unconfident or anxious, typically your shoulders have to be forward and you're going to be looking down, breathing shallow. That's not what you want to do. A confident person has their chest out and they typically look up. So for this next week, as you go through your day, I want you to be aware of what you're doing with your body at all times. As you go to work, when you're in these stressful situations, when you're interacting with others, be aware of your body, be aware of your breathing, be aware of your focus, what you're focused on. For you to be anxious, you have to be focused on a negative outcome. So start to focus on the positive, on things going good. Breathe and relax. You can breathe in through your nose and out through your mouth, and people won't know that you're even taking deep breaths as you're talking to them. And also be aware of the language you use, both in the words you say and also their volume and their tonality. For instance, if I'm anxious, either I'm going to talk really fast, but not in a negative manner, or I'm going to talk really, if I'm depressed, I'll talk really slow and low. And so either talk fast, enthusiastically, as if you believe in what it is you're selling, and watch how your confidence goes up. And stick your chest out and breathe. If you ever watch pro fighters when they come out to fight one another, they always walk out with their chest out. That's how men who are confident stand. So that's how I want you to stand. And practice it. Spend a minute or two every day with your hands on your hips. These are called power poses. And stick your chest out and look up. And if you want, smile big, or at least look up. And what this will do is, there's a theory called the James Lange theory that says what you do with your body affects your mind. And this will start to produce tonic, feel-good chemicals in your body, and your consciousness will feel better. So try all these exercises out that I'm outlining for you. All of them will have a real cumulative effect on you, and you'll see things start to change for you. And if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. I've seen a number of people jumping in and jumping out of the live. Hopefully more people end up staying than going. So we're talking about self-confidence. Let me see. I have a number of things that I recommend too. Do you do any type of martial arts right now? Let me know. Let me know if any of you do any type of martial arts. One easy way to build... Is he still here? Are you still here, Todd? One easy way to build confidence is to do martial arts. To start training and putting yourself in fearful situations. And as you do, your confidence will build. Now, for those of you who are just jumped in, do you have any questions on anything? Law of attraction, relationships, dating, confidence, whatever it is. There's no topics that are off limits. We can discuss whatever it is that you like. But if there are no questions, I'll just start talking about either the law of attraction or something of that nature. So I'll give it 1 second and I'll see who has a question and who doesn't. So right now, I'm going to just start talking, and if you have any questions, fear of rejection. Okay, first, when somebody so-called rejects you, they're not rejecting you, they're just rejecting your offer. So you can always change your offer. Now, I'm assuming this rejection, you're talking fear of rejection in regards to relationships. Let me phrase something this way. Let's say, for example, I offer you a piece of gum, and you say no. Am I going to go start berating myself? No, you're so stupid, Tony. Every time you offer somebody gum, they say no, you're such an idiot. No, of course not. You saying no to my offer has nothing to do with me. You might have just, gotten done eating. You might have a mint in your mouth. You might be chewing gum already. You might not be in the mood for gum. There's a variety of factors that are influencing your decision. So they have nothing to do with me. I could wait a little bit and then ask you again. I could change my offer and offer you something else instead of gum. Hey, do you want a bottle of water or something? But I don't need to take it personal. How somebody reacts to you isn't an estimate of your worth as a human being. Now, there might be some things you need to change. Is your sales pitch not good? For instance, sometimes I would see guys when I used to teach dating seminars, they start talking to a woman and start leaning in way too close, and the woman would start to lean real far back until she felt really uncomfortable. And so I would have to adjust that. Or the guy would feel uncomfortable when he'd first approach her, and he'd lean back and she would lean back until the rubber band would break, so to speak. So if you need to adjust your offer, change whatever you need to about yourself in a positive way. For instance, if you're not in shape, get in shape. If your hygiene's bad, get your hygiene better. If you're not sure what to say when speaking to somebody, go and type in conversational openers and practice your social skills, or go take a comedy improv class. Improve what you can, but don't be afraid of anything. Every no gets you one step closer to the person who's going to say yes. So strive to get your rejections out of the way as fast as possible, so to speak, because the faster you get them done, essentially the more sales you're going to have. When I was in sales, I need help with my philosophy essay. I can't think, it's so complicated to start. Let me know the topic and I'll answer that for you, or I'll help you out. When I was in sales, by the way, I was one of the highest closers in Southern California. At one point, I was the highest closer in Southern California. Now, that meant I was selling 1 out of every 5 people that I closed. Hello. And so that even me being super high up, I was only closing 20% of the 100% of people that are out there. And my goal was to provide as best service as I can And I didn't lament over those who said no. I knew I was doing a great job. I was offering a fantastic product. And those who said, yeah, they were a match for me, I wanted to help out. And those ones who said no, I wanted to move forward through as fast as possible so I could get to my yeses. And as a result, my income went way up and my close rate was always really high. So every no gets you closer to those people who would say yes. How do you stop grieving? Oh, Eli, let me know if you need help with your philosophy essay. How do you stop grieving for somebody? I have a few thoughts on this. So first, don't let anyone tell you how long or short you should. Don't let anyone tell you how long or short it should take you to grieve over somebody. That's something that's just for you. That's a personal issue. So nobody should tell you, aren't you already over that person? Take as long as you like. That's one. Two, I would recommend getting some type of weekly or daily wellness program that uplifts your state of mind, uplifts your body, mind, and soul, so that you're not spending time just in grief, but you're actually getting the support. You could either go talk to a professional, you could get you coaching, you could go and start doing yoga, something of a constructive nature that gets you out of that grieving mindset and gets that energy flowing, so to speak. Third, start to go through the various stages of grieving. I'm not sure all of them, but I know there's anger, hurt, sadness, fear, etc. And allow yourself the time. Excuse me 1 second. Let me adjust my screen display. It's just going to take a moment. My apologies. I had to turn that off. My nighttime mode turned on, so everything changed colors. Now, allow yourself to go through the grieving process. I would recommend getting some books on grieving. There's a great book by Stephen Levine called Who Dies? And it's a great book. It'll help you deal with all of the emotions that you're working through right now. I would also highly, highly recommend getting Testimony of Light by Helen Greaves. I want you to realize that nobody ever really dies. This life is a transition to whatever is after this. And that book lays a solid foundation, a solid framework for what takes place after this and how we can still connect with our loved ones who have passed on so that death doesn't have to be this final ultimate solution. Obviously, it's painful. I've had 2 of my closest friends pass away in the last 3 years, but you can still connect with those people through vibration by sending them love. And I would highly recommend getting that book. So I would, again, to reiterate, start to see a professional that can help you. Get on a weekly and or daily wellness program. And then get some books by people who explain the grieving process and will help you walk through it. And that way it'll be really gentle. And lastly, allow yourself as much time as you need to grieve. It's a very powerful process. Also, a lot of growth can take place as a result of it. So give yourself as much time as you need. Now, I see some questions coming in. Eli, give me the actual prompt and I'll try to help you out. And then Mandy, she was, I'm assuming it was the death of a loved one is what it sounded like. Let me know if you have bad receptions, everyone, if the reception is good or not. For me, it says that it's good over here, but I don't know. It doesn't look like there's anything I could do to change it. By the way, I'm just going to play some good music in the background to get us in a really good state. While I do that, if any of you have any questions on anything, feel free to ask. There's nothing that's off limits. We've been talking about the law of attraction, relationships, building self-confidence. Oh, I agree. Give me 1 second. Awesome. I'm going to put... What type of hurts do you all want to listen to today? I'm going to put 639. We're going to attract love during this session. So let's see if this song is good. And then, okay. Honestly, what helped me the most was lacking from everything and focusing on myself. My advices are wonderful. Thank you. I'm glad that helps. Oh, and then I have something different to say about grieving a relationship. Let me just play this music and then we'll go. Cool. Okay, so grieving a relationship is different. First, realize that a relationship doesn't die. It just simply transmutes into something hopefully that's healthier for you and the other person. Unless you want that relationship to be totally severed. All the people that I've dated, for the most part from my past, I still have healthy relationships with them. If I see them, they're happy to see me and I'm happy to see them. So realize that relationships simply transmute. And if you're grieving the loss of somebody, first, I would do pretty much almost what I outlined for somebody who's passed on. I would get myself in a daily wellness program where in the morning I meditate. I have a good routine where I image what it is I want. I can see myself with a new partner if I'm ready to move on. If I don't feel that I can support myself fully emotionally, then I'll ask somebody outside of my friends and family to support me. I'll either go get a counselor or a therapist, somebody or a coach to help me so that I can improve, so that I'm not just trying to stand on my own, so to speak. I mean, we get trainers to help us get physically in shape. There's nothing wrong with you getting a trainer to get you emotionally and mentally strong. So I would recommend doing that. And then there was something else that I was going to say. And then I would walk myself through the process of, I'm not sure exactly what this process is, but you could say that the emotional release process. I would ask myself, what am I angry about in regards to this relationship? And I would see what it is, and I would write it out. And then I'd say, what am I hurt about in regards to this relationship? And I would write it all out. And then I'd say, what am I sad in regards to this relationship? And I would write out what I'm sad and then what I'm afraid about. What am I afraid is going to happen? Am I afraid that it's going to repeat itself? Am I afraid that the person's going to come back and it's still going to be unhealthy? I'd write out all my fears. And then lastly, after I've gone through all these emotions, I would, awesome. And if you need actual coaching sessions, I'm here for you too. And then lastly, and I'm glad to help. And then lastly, I would say I forgive this person. After working through all those emotions, I would work on forgiving the person and write out how I forgive that person. And most importantly, I forgive myself for what took place, what I said, what I didn't say, the times I should have known better, and so on. And then I would move forward. Also, one thing that I like to do that not a lot of people recommend, but I think it works, is I start going out right away. I start going out and meeting new people. I'm a firm believer that my next relationship will always be better than my previous one. That's one of my core beliefs. And so I start to tell myself that. And inevitably, it becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. I always end up meeting somebody amazing. And exactly, staying hurt and angry, it does nobody any good. It just transmits negative energy to that person who ends up behaving in the way that you're putting forth. It attracts to you more negativity, which you don't need. So focus on the positive. Things are going to get better. Every day in every way, I'm getting better and better. Everything works together for my good. This relationship is a blessing, and it's going to bless me, and it's going to bless my partner. We're both moving on to greater good. And watch how things transform for you. So I would work through your emotions, get yourself on a wellness routine, and then start to affirm how this is working together for your highest good, and watch things shift. And then obviously start meeting new people. You don't have to start dating right away, but start meeting new people, and it'll take the sting, it'll take the energy out of that old relationship. And then I see some questions coming in. Okay, so hey, I answered this earlier. You asked, how do I become more confident and stop caring so much what people think about me? First, if you realize how little people actually think about other people throughout their day, you would stop caring completely what other people think about you. That's one. Two, most people, when they think about you, they're thinking about what you're thinking about them. So they're actually worried what you're saying in your mind about them. They might be attacking you because they're actually worried that you're going to attack them. So that's one. Come to the realization that everybody's just focused on themselves. Two, start to honor. Let me just turn up the mute. This is not the best. Okay, there you go. Let me just put on a different song, then I'm going to answer that question in depth because I think it's a really good question.
What if you could...
Okay, so two, realize that, not realize, but start to do what it is you want. Start to do what it is you enjoy. Start to move towards what it is you want to do. Start honoring your desires, your cravings, etc. And as you do that, you're going to feel better about yourself. And from your self-esteem, you're going to take healthier actions, which are going to make you feel more confident. That's two. Three, start to put yourself, if I would recommend doing things, I don't know if we can right now because of COVID, but I always recommend people do fun things such as comedy, improv, stand-up comedy, things like that, where you develop your social skills and become more confident in regards to socializing with others. And at the same time, you put yourself in fearful situations every day. They're not physically fearful. Nobody's going to hurt you, but you have to face some type of fear. You have to go out, in front of a group of people and perform, and your social skills get better, and then your confidence grows as well. And then realize that confidence comes from competence. Social skills are a skill. They're a skill that you develop, and the more you put yourself in the arena, so to speak, the better your social skills will become, and the better you're going to do and feel. I also recommend, you don't have to do this, but this is just from my own history, so to speak. I recommend everybody go do martial arts if you can. You'll get in great shape. You'll feel super confident. You'll feel super strong. You'll pump healthy endorphins in your body every day, and your confidence will improve. And lastly, this is the most important one. Grab a pen and paper and write out my new self-image. The most important image you can have is the image you have of yourself. I say this night after night after night after night, hoping that it will be drummed into your heads and hoping it'll be drummed into my own head. The most important image that you can have is the image you have of yourself. So grab a pen and paper and write out my new self-image and list out, I'm confident in all situations. I succeed in interacting with others. I communicate effectively. My social skills are A+. I have a high emotional amplitude. Whatever it is, list how you want yourself to be and then see it every day and then feel as if it's taking place now. Imagine it, see it, feel it. The more feeling it has, the more it gets impressed on your subconscious, and the quicker your subconscious will make it a reality in your life. Your subconscious controls your beliefs, your habits, and your bodily functions. So you want to show it images of you being confident, of you being successful. By the way, the idea, I am not confident, is just an idea. It's just a belief. What is a belief? A belief is a thought that you've thought over and over and over again. So all you need to do is start thinking a new thought. I'm confident, I'm successful, I'm confident, I'm successful, I'm confident, I'm successful. And start to beat this into your head like a drum. And here's the threshold of your subconscious. Here's that idea. It'll start to get more and more impressed until it's in there. And then once it's in there, it's as if you're watering it every day. And it's going to start attracting to you people, places, situations, circumstances, and events for you to become more confident. And you will be more confident. So try that out. Show yourself this image of you being confident. Affirm every day that you're confident, you're powerful, you're strong. A good affirmation for you to use is, I am well, strong, and full of courage. I'll say it again. I am well, strong, and full of courage. It's a powerful affirmation that can really shift things in your life. You want to be strong. You want to be well. You want to be full of courage. Courage is the ability to take action in spite of fear. If you can't have faith, total faith that you're going to do great, at least have courage where you're able to take action in spite of your fear. So I am well, strong, and full of courage, and watch things show up, watch things shift in your life. By the way, my nose is kind of swollen today. I got hit at boxing in my nose. So I'm looking at it. I'm like, oh, I look a little different. So let me know if that helps. And if you have any other questions, I'm happy to answer. And for those of you who just joined, feel free to follow me because I post regular tips daily on these type of things, and I'm happy to answer any questions that you want. So ask away. There's no topics that are off limits. Do you do mantras at all? Just like that? Yes, I have a number of mantras. Awesome. Martial arts are fantastic. I have a number of mantras that I recommend using. Hello, good to see you here. So this first one I got from the Master Key System by Charles Hannell. He said, as we go through life, you want a certain affirmation that can guide you, that you can remember, that you don't have to try to recall something just out of the blue, that you'll have something that'll be kind of your North Star as you're going on your journey. So I'm going to give you this first affirmation. And the affirmation is, I am whole, perfect, strong, powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. I'll say it again. I am whole, perfect, strong, powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. I'll say it one more time. I am whole, perfect, strong, powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. He said that's what's called an all-inclusive affirmation. It covers everything. I love affirmations like this that cover the whole gamut of experiences. He said, if you just say that affirmation to yourself, he said, if you say it in the good times, you're going to attract more good to you. When the rhythm is low and things seem to not be working out right, start to affirm that, and it'll shift you back from the low gear into the high gear, and things will start working out for you again. So it's, I am whole, perfect, strong, powerful, loving, harmonious, and happy. Another affirmation. This is from Emile Coué. He's the famous French psychologist that coined the term, every day in every way I'm getting better and better. First, by the way, use that affirmation. Every day in every way, I am getting better and better. He says to say it to yourself 20 times in the morning upon awakening and 20 times at night before going to sleep. Now, why does he say to say it in the morning and at night upon awakening and before going to bed? The reason being is the first 15 minutes of the day and the last 15 minutes before you fall asleep, your brain starts to drop from beta. Beta is a state of mind when you're awake, to alpha. Alpha is the state that starts to occur when your brain goes into deep meditation. So it's as if the trapdoor to your subconscious begins to open. So say that every day, every morning and night, every day and every way, I'm getting better and better. And you can adjust it. Every day and every way, I'm getting richer and richer, happier and healthier, wealthier and wealthier, whatever it is you like, better and better looking. And watch things shift for you. Now, the reason I mentioned Emile Coué is he has a great affirmation that I like. He said, anytime you're going to begin any undertaking or do any task, tell yourself, it is easy and I can. Again, it is easy and I can. So let's say you have a big sales presentation. It is easy and I can do it. And show yourself the positive end result. That's one of my favorite mantras. It is easy and I can, and watch things shift. Brian Tracy, he has 2 affirmations. He tells himself every day. He just says it like 100 times a day, like as if you're beating a nail with a hammer into a board. I can do it, I can do it, I can do it, I can do it. He said, when you tell yourself, I can do it, it dissolves that fear of failure. And that's what you want to do, is dissolve that fear of failure. And then he also tells himself every day, I like myself, I like myself, I like myself, I like myself, I like myself. And he gets himself super pumped up. And he said the affirmation, I like myself, it's a tonic affirmation. It's a healing balm for your subconscious. So say it every day, I like myself. Now you can also say, I love myself, but there's certain people in my life I love that I don't like. So I like to say both. So I like myself, I love myself. However you want to do it, but those are some great affirmations to use. Do you need to say affirmations out loud? Is that more powerful? I believe it amplifies the energy, so I recommend saying them out loud. However, if you live with people, you don't want them to think you're crazy, so you might have to do them in your head. But if you do say them with emphasis, I like myself, say it, but I recommend doing them out loud if you can, just because they have more impact. And then if anybody has any questions, feel free to ask. Those are bandages. I'm not sure what you mean, but let me know. Other affirmations that I would like. One of my favorite affirmations is from Joseph Murphy's The Power of Your Subconscious Mind. And in that book, he says, if you ever feel stuck in life, if you're not sure what to do with your career, if you're not sure where to live, what to do with the relationship, etc. For some reason, I look super tan today. Say the following affirmation to yourself. Say, from my nose. Oh, okay. Gotcha. Thank you. Say, the infinite intelligence of my subconscious mind reveals to me my true place in life. I'll say it again. The infinite intelligence of my subconscious mind reveals to me my true place in life. Oh, thank you, Eli. Yes. So if an intrusive thought comes up, you can do a couple things. You can say, 1, that has no power over me, and then think its positive opposite. So let's say you think an intrusive thought comes up, I'm not going to do good at that sales meeting. Tell yourself, this has no power over me, I'm going to do great at that sales meeting. And then I would affirm a series of positive affirmations in addition to that one. I'm going to be the best salesman that they've ever seen. I'm going to sell everybody in that room. I'm going to earn more than ever before. My products are good, and they deserve to have my products. So as a result, I'm going to do great at sales. That way you really get the amplitude and the feeling tone of that positive idea going, and you impress it on your subconscious, and also through the law of attraction, you'll be putting out a powerful vibration that'll attract to you the right people, places, situations, circumstances, and events to match up with what it is you want. Oh, thank you. I'm glad you like how articulate I am. Oh, that's positive. Exactly, yeah. Negative thoughts they're the bugs or the weeds to the oasis that's your consciousness. So you want to replace them as much as possible. Do a mental house cleaning. And then what's going to happen is the more you do this, the less negative thoughts you're going to think and the more positive thoughts. So at first, let's say you're spending 80% of your time in negativity, 20% of your time in positivity. Then it'll be 30%, 70, and so on until you get to 80% positive, 20% negative. And then eventually, the ideal is when you're spending almost 100% of your day in pure positive energy. Let me just drink some water. While I drink some water, feel free to ask any questions you like. Nothing's off limits, so ask whatever you like. So somebody asked, Evanis asked, what do I know about opening chakras? P.S. I like how articulate you are. I'm going to answer I'm going to say something about the articulate part, and then I'll say my thought about chakras. For my articulation, I did a number of things, such as I took public speaking classes, I took comedy improv classes, I made myself do stand-up comedy. I regularly ask myself, what scares me? And then whatever the answer is, that's something I make myself do. Recently, I asked myself, what scares me? And I said, if I was to do a Muay Thai fight. And then it just so happened my gym was putting on fights. I was like, perfect, I'm going to go sign up. And I created an image of things going well, my hand being raised, me being victorious, and everything went fantastic. So it's important to ask, I like to ask myself regularly and try it out too. What scares me? And then go do whatever it is that scares you. And practice being articulate. So that's one. And then opening chakras. Well, there's a couple ways to do it. You can go to yoga and then do things through yoga, which is great. 2, you could see for each chakra center, send yourself that color and then give yourself a positive affirmation. This is obviously first relax your body and relax your mind. The reason being is when you relax your body and relax your mind, your subconscious begins to open. And then start to send light to each one of your chakra centers and then tell yourself something positive about that area and then watch your chakra centers, your energy body expand. I should make a video about it. It's just I have to write everything out and then record it and get the artwork, and it takes some time because I take my friends through chakra opening meditations and they love it. So at some point I might do that. It just takes a little bit of time. Yep, for all those. Okay, let's see. And if anyone has any questions, if you don't currently follow me, please do, because I post regular stuff like this every day, 1 to 3 videos a day. Yeah, all right, cool. Hey, Miss Brisbane, good to have you on here. Now, what area are you all having the most difficulty in your life? Any idea on which chakra to work on first? It's all personal preference. If you're somebody who's having an issue with confidence and speaking up, then I would work on your 3rd chakra. If you're somebody who has an issue connecting with others, then work on your 2nd chakra. If you have an issue with stability in your life, financial stability, work on your root chakra. If you have an issue with love, work on your heart chakra. If you have an issue with, also, I would say vocalizing your thoughts or expressing yourself, work on your throat chakra. And then the last 2, I think, are just connecting with higher intelligence, if I'm not mistaken. Mm-hmm. Thank you. And then, if you're new to chakras, then I would definitely work on, as someone else said, root chakra first. But if there's a specific area that you're having an issue with, then you can jump to that. Okay, let me see. And then is there any areas that you all are having difficulty in your lives right now that you'd want to focus on? If you're not sure which area needs to be worked on in your life, just look at your life and see what area is working. And health. Mandy, was that your question that I answered earlier about rejection? Let me know. If it wasn't, I'll cover it because somebody else just asked about rejection. If it was, then I'll cover it briefly again, but after I get to the health thing. So first, Ms. Brisbane said health. I have, by the way, on my YouTube channel, I have a number of health meditations and affirmations that could really help you. First, I have one. It's called Get Healthy Now. So it's called, if you type in Tony and Amy, Get Healthy Now on YouTube, it's a meditation that will help you get to the root cause of any health problems you might be having. It will create a new self-image for you that you're supposed to show yourself daily so that this idea will get impressed on your subconscious. Any idea, by the way, that gets impressed on your subconscious manifests in your body as either health or disease. So you want to impress on your subconscious ideas of a healthy, positive, constructive nature so that it expresses in your body as health. So yeah, check that out. Get Healthy Now. It has a number of positive affirmations. It's a great meditation. I'd recommend that. Second, I have two tracks. They're very similar to each other. If you type in Tony and Amy MLQ or Tony and Amy Perfect Health Concept, Tony and Amy Perfect Health Concept, or Tony and Amy MLQ. There are two affirmation tracks, both based on one is straight out of MLQ's work. The other is a one based on MLQ's work, where it just gives you all these positive ideas about your body, about how your body is becoming healthier. And then mentally, about how your mind is becoming healthier. You're feeling more peaceful and serene. And then I guess you could even say spiritually healthier as you become more and more peaceful and enjoy life more. So it walks you through everything. It's a very gentle affirmation track. I recommend listening to that every day, especially those days you don't feel like listening to it. Those are the days you need to listen to it the most, because it'll just gradually adjust you and put into your subconscious a series of positive ideas. So first, try those tracks out. Second, create an image of yourself. Write out my health and list how you're going to be. Write your weight, what your ideal weight is, how much energy you have, how much you sleep, what your diet is like, what your body looks like. And start to create this image for yourself. And then every day, read your list, see it as if it's taking place now, and then create an action plan for you to achieve your goals. Do you need to get on a new a new diet? Do you need to start exercising? Do you need to start sleeping more? Make those necessary changes, and then obviously first it starts with the image, and then from the image you attract the right people, resources, etc. to create health and wellness for you. This reminds me, by the way, when there was a time in my life I was very, very skinny. And I wanted to gain weight. I had enough of being skinny. So at the time I was 150 pounds, and I said I want to get really muscular. So I cut out a picture from Men's Health magazine of this guy who was super buff, and I cut off his head and I put my head on it. And every day I would see myself having that body and walking around feeling strong, moving, with this muscular body. And again, remember, your subconscious controls things such as your beliefs, your habits, and your bodily functions. This third one is most important when in regards to health. So I'm showing it this image of me being healthy and strong and feeling good. And then when you're putting forth whatever you're putting into your subconscious, think of it as the ultimate supercomputer. It doesn't know the difference, by the way, between what's real and what's false. If you start showing it you being in shape, it's going to say, this is me now. And it's going to go to work to make it a reality. So I start showing it this new image of me being buff, looking great. And either that day or the next day, my workout partner tells me, hey, Tony, we always lift light. He said, do you want to start lifting heavy now? I want to get bigger. And I'm like, sure. Now, that might be a coincidence. To me, it's causation. And then a few days later, I run into a friend of mine who is a personal trainer, and he says, Tony, what are you working on nowadays? And I tell him, well, actually, the thing that I'm focusing on right now is just getting muscular. And he starts talking to me about my diet, and then he writes me out a diet plan. And then from there, I ended up gaining, I went from 150 all the way up to, at one point I weighed 200 pounds. And people thought I was on steroids. I was all big and buff. And it was because it all started with me adjusting the image that I had of myself in my mind. So start to show yourself images of what it is you'd like. And then obviously take the necessary changes from there. And then in addition to supplement that, listen to those tracks that I recommended and watch your health skyrocket. And I would also, for those of you who don't know about alkalinity versus acidity, strive to make yourself more alkaline. The more alkaline you are, the less joint pain you'll have, the higher energy levels you'll have, you'll feel really good. Yes, you're correct. I'm going to talk more about that in a second. Okay. Just subbing your YouTube. I'm going to indulge. Oh, nice. Okay, thank you. All right, so I want to get to, I'm going to recover rejection. I'm going to cover it briefly just because I don't want to have to reiterate it for those who already listened to it. So again, for rejection, if somebody, wait, hold on. First tell me, did you listen to all that? If I offer somebody something and they say no, they're not rejecting me, they're rejecting my offer. Let me know if you already heard that. If you didn't, then I'll get into all that stuff. I want to make sure. Not sure what rejection itself was covered yet. Rejection, basically, in regards to rejection, I guess I'll just say it again briefly. You can't control how somebody else feels about you. So strive to put forth your best. And when they say no, they're not rejecting you. They're rejecting your offer. That person doesn't even know you. The true you is so bright and so beautiful. If the person really knew you, they'd be in awe. So don't take it personal if somebody says no to you. Ask yourself, is there something that I could have improved? Was there some area in my offer that I could have changed? Do I need to change my offer and offer something different? Or maybe that person is just not a right match for you. And if they're not, then just release that person with love and then look forward to the person that is going to be a right match for you. Every no that you get gets you one step closer to the right person who's going to say yes. So strive to just get through your rejections as quick as possible, learning, shifting, growing as much as you can with every interaction so you can bring your best foot forward when you meet that right person. Thoughts are immaterial things that turn into realities. We start faking it and end up believing it. Yeah, a belief, by the way, is just a thought you've thought over and over and over again. So if you don't like your current reality, just start thinking something new and start repeating the thought over and over and over and over again to yourself until that new belief seems so real, and your reality will start to shape and form and crystallize around this new idea, and that old idea will seem so foreign and unreal that you'll never want to think it again. And as you're thinking that new thought, you're creating new brain cells, new neural networks, new neural pathways that are in alignment with that new thought. And so it literally will feel foreign to think that old thought, to go back to that old way of being. Mandy, let me know if that helped you, by the way, with the rejection. So I had mentioned earlier in regards to rejection, if I offer somebody a piece of gum and they say no, am I going to freak out? Am I going to say no? Why am I so stupid? Nobody ever wants my gum. Why do I even bother offering it to people? No, that person might not be in the mood for gum. They might have just chewed on some gum. They might have a mint in their mouth. They might not like the flavor. I can either offer them a different type of gum, offer them something else, such as water. So they're not rejecting me. That person doesn't even know me. They're just rejecting my offer. And offers can be changed. You can talk to that person at a later time and re-offer them whatever it is you're selling. 60% of sales, by the way, are made after the fourth attempt. I want to say this again. 60% of sales are made after the fourth attempt. Most people ask somebody something once, the person says no, and they drop it for life. So don't be like those people. They're leaving so much on the table. I've spoken about this a number of times. At one point, I had the highest closing percentage in Southern California in my industry. How did I do that? First, I used the law of attraction. I would see and feel the end result of me being number one for that specific area. And also, I would do a lot of follow-up. I would follow up with those people that other salespeople didn't want to follow up with. I don't let that affect me because you don't want to get caught in the illusion of things. Everything has a gestation period. Most people, I used to do car sales. What most car salespeople did, excuse me, I just ate before I came on the live. What most car salespeople did is they would see somebody who would walk on the lot and they would try to sell them that day. And if they didn't, they would just wait for the next person to walk on and do it and try and do things that way. However, the average sales cycle for a person buying a car is 36 days. So they're missing so much. So I would consistently follow up with people, answer any questions. And if they didn't buy a car from me, they almost always ended up recommending somebody else who ended up buying a car from me. I had so much referral business at one point. It was fantastic. In fact, I haven't been in the car business for some time, but every month I get people calling me because their leases are ending and they want to buy another car from me. So I send them to my friend who is super thrilled to have my previous book of business. And then how do I not let that affect me? First you realize that you're so high value. If you believe in your product and your service, which you should, that if somebody says no, I mean, they're essentially missing out or it's just not a right fit. And so I'm not going to feel bad about it at all. And also, not everybody's a customer. Not for instance, not I couldn't get everybody qualified. Some people had bad credit. So just because they said no or things didn't work out doesn't mean something else isn't gonna work out in the future. I used to tell guys when I would teach dating seminars, you're only one interaction away from a good night. If I talk to 3 women, the first 2 said no, they don't want anything to do with me. And then the third one says yes, and we hit it off and we have an amazing night. The next day, am I going to remember the 2 who said no? I'm not even going to care about them. I'm going to focus on that one who said yes, and I'm going to feel so good about that I'll attract more good into my life from that point, from that place of abundance. So focus on the positive and realize everything is sales and everything is a funnel. You might start with 100 people, but then you're going to get down to whatever that percentage is per industry that says yes. Even... I'm not sure what you mean, Bombery, with the sad faces, but let me know. Even Brad Pitt, if he went, he's rich, he's famous, he's good looking. If he went and asked out 100 women, he could probably date 99, percent of them, but he's not going to be able to get 100% of them. Some might think he's too old. Some might not be attracted to him. Some might be married or have boyfriends. So even he's going to have some percentage of rejection. So he shouldn't let it affect him. He should focus on the ones that'll say yes, the ones that want to be with him. That, by the way, is the key to, if you want successful relationships, don't go after... That's something, by the way, that my friend used to do. He would go to a bar and he'd walk around and he would see who would respond to him, who would smile at him, who would fix their hair, who would give him an indicator of interest. And then he would just talk to those women and things would go great and he would have a successful night. He played the game in his favor, and you should too. By the way, what are you asking in regards to dating rejection, or are you asking in regards to sales so that I know how to tailor my talk? And by the way, for anyone else that just joined in, feel free to ask whatever you like, and feel free to follow me on TikTok. I post content such as this 1 to 3 times a day, and it's designed to improve and help your life. So let me know if you're talking about relationships or if you're talking about sales. And if any of you have any questions, or if there's some area you want me to cover, feel free to ask now. There's nothing that's off limits. Do I read metaphysics? Yeah, I read. If I showed you all the books on my bed right now, not even in my library, just on my bed, you would be astounded. I read so much that it's like people will yell at me. They're like, stop reading so much. Go do something. But I love what I read. I feel as if it feeds my soul. And this is where I get the material, the tips, the techniques. Also, I try a lot of things out to see what works. Now, you said you'd love to hear the perspective of the unanswered. I'm not sure what you mean by that, but let me know. Trying to make sure I manifest. You're always manifesting, by the way. At all times, you're manifesting according to the images in your mind and the feelings that you're putting forth. Just start to become a conscious manifester. That's the secret or the trick to life. Spend some time every morning and every night focusing on what it is you want and feeling the feelings of the end result. Neville Goddard, in his excellent book, Feeling is the Secret, says that's basically it. All of manifestation boils down to you showing yourself certain images, feeling as if it's taken place. And he said, once you feel the feeling of the end result, it's as if you've impregnated your subconscious with what it is you want, and there's going to be a birth. He said, a woman cannot be somewhat pregnant. Either she's pregnant or she's not. And like fashion, once you've felt the feelings of the end result, your subconscious is impregnated with these ideas. And unless you give yourself a counter idea, that idea is going to manifest for you. So just feel the feelings, the end result of what it is you want. And I recommend setting up times every morning and night where you show yourself the end result of what you want for your health, your wealth, your career, your finances, and for yourself. Those 5 areas at least every day, so that it's as if you're planting powerful seeds in your subconscious, and you're watering them every day and every night, and you're going to get forth an amazing crop. What's one of my favorite books? Okay, I have a number of books that I recommend. The Success Principles by Jack Canfield, one of my all-time favorite books. It's basically kindergarten metaphysics. He'll take you through the A through Z of how to become successful. That's one. I'm going to toot my own horn for a second. My online course. It's only $12.99 for 8 hours of me talking like this to you, walking you through everything. It's fantastic. I mean, I put my heart and soul, everything I know into it. I cover the law of attraction. I cover the other universal laws, 10 rules of a higher life, finding your life purpose, how to impress your subconscious with what it is you want. I mean, I cover everything, and it's super helpful, and it will change your life. There's a link in my bio if you're interested in that. The Master Key System by Charles Haanel. Fantastic book. I love Charles Haanel for this simple reason. By the way, Jack Canfield is the author of the Chicken Soup for the Soul books. So if you haven't, I recommend the Success Principles because it's super gentle, especially if you're new to this stuff. And Jack used to say over 90% of the people who read this book will double their income and double their time off within 2 years or less. And the first time I read it, I doubled my income and doubled my time off. So it was hugely impactful. That was one. The Master Key System by Charles Haanel. Fantastic book. I love Charles Haanel for the simple reason that he refused to teach until he became wealthy. Most metaphysicians that I see nowadays become wealthy from teaching metaphysics, which is nothing wrong with that. Obviously they're demonstrating what they teach. For myself, though, I didn't want to teach any of this until I demonstrated it in my own life, until I became number one in my industry, until I earned a certain amount of income. Then I could confidently teach this because I knew it worked. I first demonstrated it in the area of relationships with myself and hundreds of men, helping them create the relationships they want. And then from there, I went into the private sector. I did really well. And then now I'm teaching it. So I like Charles Haanel. And he, by the way, didn't start teaching this. His net worth when he wrote the Master Key System was around $250 million. So the guy knows his stuff. It's 48 lessons designed to take you from where you are into a higher consciousness. I also love Neville Goddard. I like his book, The Power of Imagination, because it's 4 of his books, or a number of his books put into one book. So I'm going through it right now. I love anything by Neville. I'm a big fan of his. And then, is there anything else? And then I have some other books, but I can't recommend them to you because they're from Concept Therapy. Concept Therapy is it's a group, it's a school of thought that believe you have fixed ideas called concepts. And then therapy means having healing qualities, and it just teaches you how to take your negative concepts and replace them with positive ones, and so your whole life will change. I don't like the group because I think they're strange, but I love the founder. His books are amazing, but for you to get each book, you unfortunately have to take a seminar with those people, so I don't recommend any of their stuff. That's why I share it as freely as I can without having to send anybody to them. I don't know if that helps or not. But yeah, so the Success Principles, the Master Key System, The Power of Imagination, Rays of the Dawn by Dr. Fleet. He was the founder of Concept Therapy. That book you can actually get on Amazon. It's Natural Laws of the Body, Mind, Soul. It's a great book. It's written fear, faith, anger, patience, hate, love. That's how you're supposed to read it. It's a very good book. And then what else would I recommend for you all? Oh yeah, I can't believe I didn't think of this. The Silva Method by Jose Silva. Fantastic. The Silva Method by Jose Silva. It'll teach you a form of active meditation. There's guided meditation where you walk through a process, and then there's passive meditation where you just focus on your breath. This is a form of guided meditation that will teach you how to implant in your subconscious what it is you want and how to extract from your subconscious whatever it is that's painful and harmful so that you can replace it with something healthier. I love Jose Silva. I love his work. A lot of my meditations are made from Jose Silva. And one of the exercises, the glass of water technique in one of my videos, is from him. I highly recommend him. Okay. Need to hear what the nun wrote. Okay, cool. I'm glad that helps, Mandy. If you need me to go more in depth, just let me know. I want to hear what the nun wrote to the other nun. So, all right, Nate. Is Nate still on? So, for those of you who don't know what he's referencing, he's talking about Testimony of Light by Helen Greaves. Excuse me, sorry. I just did I did an hour of Muay Thai and then an hour of boxing, and then I ate. So I have a bit of indigestion right now. So he's talking about Testimony of Light by Helen Greaves, which is a fantastic book. It's about 2 nuns who would get together and meditate every day. And one of the nuns abruptly passes away. And the other nun is surprised to find that the other nun who's still alive, she has this irresistible urge to start writing. And as she starts writing, it's the nun on the other side describing to her what she's experiencing. And the other nun talks about how she wakes up and there's people there. And she's shocked because she's thinking there's going to be angels, whatever. But she's in this place, I don't want to call it purgatory because it's a higher place vibrationally than the earth. And there's beings, humans that have spent all this time evolving and, working on themselves. And they're like, you could call them light beings, so to speak. And they come to assist her, but they dim their light because otherwise it's so bright that it just overwhelms her. And she starts to work with these people and grow and advance. And she goes into the lower forms of consciousness or strata that exist in that realm. And she helps people grow. And she talks about how we can still affect people on the other side. When we send them light, when we send them love, when we send them feelings of good, it helps them grow and evolve on the other side. And they can actually send us vibrations back of love and joy. And Helen actually talks about how the scientists on the other side are working on some project. And the nun on the other side tells her, you're going to see it in your paper soon. Get ready. And Helen talks about how it appears in the paper. So they're sending thought vibrations to these scientists on Earth. The scientists on Earth think that they're coming up with their own inventions, but it's what the scientists on the other side are projecting to them. So it's really fascinating reading. It'll expand your thought processes. And I always recommend that book to people who have lost a loved one because it seems to help them cope once they realize that there's something after this. This isn't the final destination, so to speak. Good question. Okay, so let's see. Staying the okay, I will do that. Okay, staying in the present, okay, I will do that. Good. Is it on Audible? Yes, it should be. All the books that I recommended should be on Audible. And all that brought you here on TikTok. Are you asking me, Nate, or let me know what you mean? I said the Success Principles, the Master Key System, My E-Course, of course, and the Silva Method were the books I recommended. GSP was caught cheating. How can he be your favorite? How dare you, San Diego Wave Bandit? How dare you? I love George St. Pierre. To me, he's the greatest UFC fighter of all time. I say UFC because I'm good friends with Boss Rutan. Boss Rutan is the former UFC heavyweight champion and a king of Pancrase. It was a Japanese organization. He's one of my really good friends. To me, he's the greatest MMA fighter of all time. And then GSP is the greatest UFC fighter of all time. So I don't think GSP was caught cheating for anything aside from the Vaseline stuff, which wasn't his fault. Okay. Do you think we are being lived like Byron Katie, or do you believe we have total control? I believe you have total control. I believe that there's a higher essence to you, something that's infinitely intelligent and loving, that you can allow yourself to be a conduit for, where it'll inspire you, but it's still you that's the vehicle. So it's like there's electricity and light. You're the light bulb, but you can allow the electricity to flow through you. So you can do with the spirit what it is you want. There's unmanifest, and you bring it into manifestation via your images that you're holding in your mind and the feelings that you have. I like Byron Katie, by the way. She was at the point that she wanted to kill herself. She wanted to die. She was in this horrible, painful state, and she totally surrendered. The pain overwhelmed her until she completely let go of all of her negativity, her restrictions, her repression. And once she surrendered, this cosmic light flew through her, and she had a higher experience, a peak experience. And then from there, she went out and started teaching. The only thing, though, nothing against Byron Katie, is I'd like to give you practical stuff that you can go use today. Not this not airy-fairy, but this, what's the word I'm looking for? I guess cloudy sense of spirituality where, you're not really sure what's the meaning of this, what's the meaning of that. I want to give you tips and techniques that you can put it into work today and make your life start working today. Not sometime in the future, but right now start seeing results. Nothing is a coincidence. FYP going to buy yours. Awesome. Good. And by the way, for those of you who get my course, if you have any questions, just ask it on the message board and I answer the questions there. So I want you to do as well as possible in your life. I'll see his photo after this. My son passed away August 7th, 2020. First, I'm sorry for your loss. I mean, that is one of the most painful things that could ever happen to a person, to lose a child. Please send me your son's name in a DM, and I'll pray for you and your son. And please, I would recommend getting the book Testimony of Light. I would also recommend Stephen Levine's Who Dies. That's another great book for just handling the grieving process. One of my best friends read it before. One of my best friends passed away from brain cancer in April. And he read that book, and that book really helped him as he went through his process about to transition. So I recommend getting those two books. And then I have a process called How to Connect with a Loved One. It's a video if you want to try it out to connect with your son while you dream. So it's called How to Connect with a Loved One that's passed on. And it's a great video. And try out the process. It'll really help you out. It's a great video. I meant to say it's a great process. So I wasn't trying to pump myself up. So, cute nose. Thank you. Thank you. I'm self-conscious about it in case you were on earlier because I got hit in the nose earlier. Thank you for your answer. You're welcome. The Afterlife of Billy Fingers is also very helpful. I haven't read it, but I love reading about stuff like this and seeing what else is out there. Also, what's the guy's name? There was a guy who, if any of you know the guy's name, let me know. He got struck by lightning. He had like 3 near-death experiences. I don't know if he has the worst luck or the best luck. One time he got electrocuted super bad and had this near-death experience, and where he described it was on the other side. And then another time he got hit by lightning. Dang it, what's the guy's name? But he has a book that's very interesting that talks about what's on the other side. But my favorite one of all of them that I've read so far is still Helen Greaves. And by the way, you can find it online. Just type in Helen Greaves Testimony of Light PDF, and then you can get the book. And then let me know if any of you have any questions. Feel free to answer. I'm just going to drink some water real fast and ask. There's nothing that's off limits. We can talk about any topic that you want. For those of you who just joined, we've been talking about the law of attraction, overcoming rejection, being more self-confident, a number of positive things. I want to see each one of you do well. I want to see you. I don't want you to just succeed. I want you to be superstars in your industry. Within you is the infinite potential of God, the infinite power of God. And I want you to start bringing that forth. A great affirmation to use every day is, I am a genius and I apply my wisdom now. I am a genius and I apply my wisdom now. Each of you is a genius. There's so much intelligence, wisdom, beauty, brilliance within you that if you were to tap into all of your latent potential, it would astound you. It would totally transform your life from this moment forward. So try that affirmation out. Try it out for at least 60 days until it becomes a subconscious belief. It's, I am a genius and I apply my wisdom now. That affirmation was given to John D. Martini by Paul Bragg. Paul Bragg is the guy who made the apple cider vinegar drinks. And he didn't invent apple cider vinegar, but he popularized that drink. And he gave that to John D. Martini when John D. Martini was told that he had a learning deficit. What's the word? Deficiency. A learning deficiency. And as a result, John D. Martini ended up becoming a doctor and ended up becoming incredibly wealthy. So I am a genius and I apply my wisdom now. Now, is there any areas any of you need help with? Anything that you'd like me to discuss? There's nothing that's off limits. If not, I'll pick a topic and I'll just start talking about it. By the way, what are you reading right now? What are you doing in terms of your morning routine? I have a vision board behind me, so I show myself images of what it is I want. I also, every morning, I show myself succeeding in the following areas. I show myself my body is healthy. My body is healthy. I have a nice six-pack coming in. My body looks good. I show myself having success in my relationships. How do you turn new positive beliefs from an intellectual understanding to a heartfelt knowing? That's a good question. So how do you turn new positive beliefs from an intellectual understanding to a heartfelt knowing? What I would do is, so let's say you write out my ideal career, right? And you list all of its qualities. So that's still of the mind. So you want to take that further. Show yourself the end result of what it is you want. First, show it in the third person, slightly higher than you are, about 20 degrees, because when you look up at anything, it starts to make your brain go into an alpha cycle. Alpha is a deeper state of mind than beta when you're awake. and then bring that image, make it brighter and closer until it's in the first person. And imagine that it's taking place now and feel it as if it's taking place now. And that takes you out of that intellect that it's something out there that may or may not happen. And then it brings you into that moment of feeling it now. And then consider, once you feel it, consider the matter closed. It's done. You don't have to convince anybody of it. You don't have to tell people about it. You don't have to try to force it to happen or anything like that. It's complete. It's as if once a woman is pregnant, she knows she's pregnant, and she doesn't have to go she doesn't have to go convince the world that she is. Once she knows she is. If people don't believe her, she'll think they're crazy. And that's how you should look at it too. Just realize that there's a certain gestation period for every idea you show yourself. Some things will manifest right away. Some things take some time depending on what it is you want. Hello. So give yourself time for what it is that you've shown yourself to manifest. Your job is to decide the what. The universe's job is the how to make it happen. So hold on one second. You said, but doesn't the core belief keep emitting? So you have this core belief. Let's say somebody's not confident and they start to affirm that they're confident, that they're successful. At first, it might seem alien to them because they have this core belief that's been ingrained for so many years. However, as you start to do this more and more and have feeling behind it, feeling is the secret. The more feeling an image has, the faster it gets impressed on your subconscious. Your subconscious controls your beliefs, it controls your habits and your bodily functions. The more feeling it has, the more it'll get impressed. And then as that gets impressed, it'll start to express, and that other idea will start to dissolve. You'll be creating new brain cells and new neural networks so that old idea will start to seem foreign to you. Whereas at first, this new idea will start to seem as if you're lying. Now, you're not lying. You're telling your future in advance. That's what Brian Tracy, the father of, what do you want to call it, self-help, used to say. You're telling the future in advance, and all a belief is an idea you've told yourself over and over and over again. So start to repeat this idea to yourself over and over, and you'll start to see evidence through the law of attraction, the law of vibration. It'll start to bring you evidence that this new idea is taking place, and then eventually that will become your dominant idea. By the way, this doesn't have to be a long, grueling process. It takes on average 34 seconds, just 34 seconds, for an idea that's focused on to be implanted from your conscious mind into your subconscious. So you could spend 2 minutes focusing and feeling what it is you want, imagining that you had it now, and that will start to make this new idea vibrate. The trick, though, is not after you finish manifesting what it is you want, putting forth this positive idea. The trick is not to open your eyes and see where your life is now and then start to affirm that old idea. You want to imagine that what you're seeing on the inside is the real, and what you're seeing on this outside is the past, because it is the past. It's the accumulation of old thought forms and actions that have brought you to this moment. And as you change your internal images and even your external, what you look at every day, your subconscious will say, this is my life now, and it'll start to create it for you. So take your mind off the past, take your mind off that old idea. Another thing that you could do, so first, affirm it and feel it for at least 2 minutes. Another thing that you could do is you could relax your body, relax your mind by counting down from 50 to 1 or 30 to 1, depending on how new or not new you are to relaxing your mind. And when you count down, don't count down in a way how fast I'm talking. Count down slow. 50, 49, 48. And when you get to 1, your mind will be really relaxed and the trap door to your subconscious will be open. And ask yourself, where did I get this negative idea about, confidence or money or whatever it is? And from your subconscious, brain cells will begin to vibrate, and it'll bring from your subconscious mind to your conscious mind whatever the root cause of that idea is. This is something that very few people talk about. In fact, I'm probably one of the only teachers that discusses this, and it drives me crazy. So it drives me crazy that so few teachers talk about this. And once you have this idea of, the root cause of whatever it is, replace it with its positive opposite. Let's say it was a situation. I did this with my friend. He was my student at the time. He had went to talk to a girl. This is when he was let me take a step back. He had a subconscious belief that he was really ugly. He didn't want to approach women because he felt ugly. And I asked him, where did this come from? And he said, well, when I was in 6th grade, there was this girl who was super popular. And I went and asked her out. And I said, hi, I think you're really pretty. Do you want to be my girlfriend? And she said, ugh, I would never want to be your girlfriend. You're so ugly. And all of her girlfriends laughed at him. So he got early on this, this negative idea that he was ugly. And he wasn't ugly. He was actually a good looking guy. But he had gotten it early on. So what I did is I had him relax. I put him in a super relaxed state. I took him back to that pivotal moment in his subconscious where he received that negative idea. And instead of the girl telling him how ugly he was, I had the girl tell him how good looking he was and how much she would love to be his girlfriend. And I had all the other girls celebrate and congratulate him. Now, his subconscious doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's false. So I took that old idea and I replaced it with a positive one in his subconscious, and he became so freaking confident and self-assured and ended up getting the freaking nicest, like a beautiful girlfriend who's now his wife, that he should send me Christmas cards for the help I gave him. So that's one way to do it. So you either can start affirming and showing yourself the images of what it is now, the way you'd like yourself to be. You can start affirming this new belief over and over until it feels real. Or you could relax and meditate and bring up this old idea and replace it with a new one. Replace it with its positive opposite. Or you could just see yourself forgiving the person. Or you could just tell yourself, that idea is from the past. It has no power over me anymore. From now on, I am this. And show yourself what it is you want. By the way, if you can't get to the root cause, if it's too unconscious for you to figure out what it is, don't worry about it. Just start implanting the new idea. And that, as that gets implanted, the old one will be kicked out, so to speak, and it'll no longer affect you. Great question. Let me know if that answers. Let me know if that answers your question. And then I see a bunch of questions came in, so let me get to them. How do you value yourself more? How do you find motivation? I'm going through a breakup. Okay, so this might sound cheesy, but I mean it. You're not going through a breakup, you're going through a breakthrough. Use this as food for growth. Ask yourself, where can I improve? How can I make my next relationship better? How can I make myself better? So when I meet the next person, I'm at a higher level. I would start asking myself questions such as that. Now, how do you value yourself more? Ask yourself, what do I want to do? What have I always wanted to do? Write it out and then start to do it. I spoke about this earlier. Ask yourself, what scares me? For instance, I always ask myself at least once a year, what am I afraid of? Then whatever it is, I go and make myself do it. And then I feel better. My self-esteem improves. So thank you for the flowers. I appreciate that. So ask yourself, what do I want to do, and start doing it? What am I afraid of? And then start doing it. And then start to talk to yourself nicely, kindly, and lovingly. As if you would talk the same way you would talk to a friend that you were coaching and helping. Tell yourself, I'm the best. I like myself. I love myself. I deserve the best. When I break up with somebody, I always tell myself, my next relationship is going to be so much better than this. And inevitably it is. It becomes a self-fulfilling prophecy. So tell yourself, my next relationship is going to be so much better than this one. Now, how do I motivate myself? First, I always have myself on a general wellness routine in the morning. It's a routine. It's something I don't think about. When I wake up in the morning, I first feel gratitude for everything around me. Then I show myself images of me succeeding. So this is what I want you to do. Show yourself images for your relationships, of you succeeding, of you doing well, of you having the right life partner. Show yourself images of you succeeding in your career, in your health, in your finances, in every area of your life. You show yourself an image of you just as a general success. And then I have goals that I'm working towards. Usually I show myself the end result in those images of my goals, of what it is I want. And I take those goals and I chunk them down into small daily actions that I know I can achieve. And that gets me fired up every morning. And so I don't have to go look for outside motivation. I have inspiration. I feel inspired to be alive, to do this stuff for you. I feel it's my calling. If you're not sure what your life purpose is, I think being clear on your purpose is hugely motivating. I think it's one of the most motivating things there is. Type in Tony and Amy, find your life purpose. Tony and Amy, find your purpose on YouTube. And then I have a whole guided meditation to help you find your life purpose. Or you can type in Tony and Amy, life visioning process. Tony and Amy, life visioning process. And it's this process based on It's based on Reverend Michael Beckwith's life visioning process. Reverend Beckwith is one of the speakers from The Secret. He was one of my teachers. He runs the Agape International Spiritual Center, a large trans-denominational, not as in transgender, nothing against transgender. I mean, it means rising above all denominations and just seeing one power. And it's a fantastic spiritual center. And he has a process where he puts you in this super high state of love. And from that high state of consciousness, he asks questions such as, what is God's idea for my life? Who do I need to become for this idea to emerge? What do I need to let go of so that this idea can emerge? And so I have a meditation based on that, and you can find it on my YouTube channel. It'll really help you out. Let me know if that helps, and if you have any other questions. Also, this is something that I don't see people do, and it's a great exercise. Every day, oh, thank you. I appreciate that. Every day, thank you for that. Ask yourself or do some type of self-praise. Tell yourself, what did I do good in my past? Most people, when they think of the past, they think of regrets and what they lament. Don't be like other people. Create more good for yourself. Every day, I like to think of, what did I do good? Either in that day or in my past. I graduated from USC. I put myself through college. I learned how to fight. I won my fights. I did all this stuff. I'm not doing it to boast, but I'm doing it to build my self-esteem. It's self-esteem. So show yourself where you succeeded. Most of you, if I was to look at your lives as an outsider looking in, I would commend you. Thank you for that. I would commend you for the good work you're doing. It takes a lot of bravery to go out into life thank you. I feel super good. Thank you, guys. It takes a lot of bravery to go out into the world every day and earn your... Thank you. I appreciate the gifts. It takes a lot of bravery to go out into life every day and earn your keep. So praise yourself for the good work you're doing. Rise above the thought forms of regret and pain and hate and self-condemnation. Acknowledge yourself for the good work you're doing. Your self-esteem will shine, it'll soar, and then from there you'll pick better people, places, situations, circumstances, and events to surround yourself with. And you'll also attract better things to yourself as well through the law of attraction. And don't fear losing anybody. You're a high quality person. If somebody wants to leave your life, let them go. Give freedom to everybody. Create that space. It's when you're fearful about losing somebody that it causes you to hold them tight, and then you suffocate them, and then they want to, thank you, and then they want to leave more. So give freedom to everybody, and people will give freedom to you. Freedom is highly attractive. Faith in people is highly attractive. When you have faith in somebody, they'll want to be around you. Even if you're not in a romantic relationship with that person, my exes still call me for advice. Almost all of them. They call me for advice. Maybe it's because I'm really into this kind of stuff, but they know if they need anything, I'll support them in their growth. And so we have a good relationship. We didn't break up. That relationship transmuted itself into something that's healthier for all of us to move forward. And so don't fear losing anyone. You're a high quality individual, and you're going to attract high quality people to you at all times that are in alignment for your highest good. Hello, Baltimore. Okay, let me see what else is out there. Thank you for answering, my friend. Oh, you're welcome. Thank you so much, and thank you all for the gifts. Let me see, what time is it right now? It's 11:08. Oh, I've been talking for 2 hours, so I'll talk for 5 or 10 more minutes more. If anybody, actually no, I've been talking for near that. If anyone has any questions, feel free to ask. There's nothing that's off limits. We can talk about relationships, health, confidence, whatever it is. I'll speak for maybe another 5 minutes or 10 minutes. If nobody has any questions, then I'll just pray us all out, and then I'll go scroll on TikTok for a little bit. So it's whatever you like. Feel free to ask anything you like. There's nothing that's off limits. If you want me to just say a bunch of inspirational stuff, I'm happy to say that to you too. It's whatever you like. I'm here for you. And do you see how I talk to you? It's in a positive, affirmative tone. Speak to yourself that way. Tell yourself, I'm the best. I love myself. I like myself. Get clear on your life purpose. Try out those meditate. By the way, in my if you go to my YouTube channel and click playlists, there's a section that says guided meditations and hypnosis. It's about 20 meditations and hypnosis tracks for different areas of your life. Oh, for those of you who had fear on rejection, I hope they're still on here. I didn't think of this earlier. There is a great meditation track called Overcome the Fear of Public Speaking. But it'll put all these positive ideas into your head about communicating effectively. That's a great meditation for you to use. I made it for a friend of mine who had trouble doing public speaking, and he actually ended up going and doing stand-up comedy after that, and he did really well. So I have that. I have Get Sober Now for those of you who have addiction problems. I have one for getting sober, one for stopping smoking, one for getting in the best shape of your life. I mean, I cover the whole range of topics, and I have that, and then I also have a number of feel-good affirmations. By the way, a great process for you if you want to stay in a positive state throughout the day. What I have is I have the YouTube app on my phone, and then I created a list called Daily Affirmations. And it's just a series of affirmations I let play in the background as I go throughout my day every day. And it's just me being bombarded with positive ideas about how I'm great, how I'm healthy, how I'm happy. And then I'll hear it and I'll be like, oh, hey, I am good, I am great, I am blessed. So it's a positive way to continuously get new ideas impressed on your subconscious. Can you give advice on how to forgive yourself after cheating happened once in a relationship? Yeah, realize first, if you can make amends with that person, do so. If you can't, then forgive yourself and send love and light to that person if you can, so they can move on. And then second, ask yourself, where did I need to be more honest in that relationship so that I won't make the same mistake in the future? More than likely, there was something that needed to be addressed beforehand, before the cheating took place, so that you won't make that type of mistake in the future. So get honest with yourself. What did I need to say or speak up about so that I didn't have to do such an extreme thing to get out of that relationship? So get clear on that. And then second, realize that you feeling bad about the past, feeling guilty about it, isn't going to change your future or make it brighter. Use it as food for growth. Ask yourself, what lessons do I need to learn from that relationship so that I'll be a better wife or spouse or whatever it is? And then third, forgive yourself. Tell yourself, I forgive myself now for the past. I made a mistake. That mistake is in the past, and don't beat yourself up anymore. Show yourself. At night, I would show myself handling the relationship the way I would have liked it to go. So at a certain point when things were going south, I would visualize myself having broken it off. The reason being is it'll show your subconscious, this is what I should have done, so you know what to do in the future, and also it'll heal things on a subconscious level for you. And then just start to mentally affirm every time that comes up, the pain from that old relationship. Tell yourself, I forgive myself, for the past. I forgive that person. I am forgiven by that person. I am free and they are free. It is a marvelous feeling. So I forgive that person. I am forgiven by that person. I am free and they are free. It's a marvelous feeling. So that way you set yourself free and you set that person free, and it's done. So let me know if that helps you, if you want me to go more in depth into it. Do I believe in Jesus? Absolutely. So it's interesting. I was raised Catholic, and then when I got older, Catholicism did not vibe with me at all. So I left and I started studying spirituality, and then I started studying people like Neville Goddard, for instance. And then I had a way better understanding of Christianity after I left the Catholic faith. So it's ironic how that worked out. So Jesus is one of the greatest metaphysicians of all time. So a great book, if you want to combine, or not combine, but bridge the gap between metaphysics and Christianity, there's books such as Neville Goddard's books, or Joseph Murphy. He does a great job. He was a reverend, and he does he does a great job of connecting the two. When I meditate, how do I know if I have healed the blockages I don't know of? Wait, that's kind of a confusing question. When I meditate, how do I know if I have healed the blockages I don't know of? An easy way to know if there's any blockages is what's showing up in your life now in that area. If you think something about it and it feels right, like something of success, like, oh, I'm successful with finances, and it feels good to say that, and you're getting the evidence of it, then you'll know that there's no subconscious block. If what keeps showing up in your life is something contrary, then you'll know that there's still some negative subconscious idea. And even if you don't know what it is, just start affirming the positive. Show yourself an image of you succeeding, see it, feel it, affirm it, and then that new idea will start to express, and that old idea will start to dissolve. It occurred with an ex who was extremely manipulative and toxic in my life. I have terrible guilt. First, he wasn't doing his part as a man, so don't feel bad. I'll give you an example. One day I met this woman. I met her at a Barnes and Noble, right? So I saw her walking out. I was about to walk in to the Starbucks next door, and she's really beautiful. I said, whoa, hold it. I said, you're very beautiful. I said, hi, I'm Tony. And she had a book in her hand. And we started talking. She's like, I have a boy. She's like, I'll have you know I have a boyfriend. I said, okay, cool. I respect that. We'll talk for 1 second. I'll leave. I'm going to meet my friends for coffee. I said, what book are you reading? And she told me, she's like, oh, I got it for myself. It's a birthday present. I said, hey, happy birthday. And we start talking about the book. And I said, what are you and your boyfriend going to do? And I see her get really sad. She's like, well, he went to a club with his friends tonight. And I was like, hold up, back up a sec. I said, it's your birthday. I said, and she said he didn't even get her a gift. So she went and got her own gift. Her boyfriend went to a club and was out with his friends, getting drunk, meeting other women. So I said, look, I'm just going to be clear. I said, that relationship is done. Relationship is beginning right now. And I took her, we went inside, we ended up having a coffee, hit it off. I told her, like, you're leaving your boyfriend. She did. And her boyfriend was really abusive, not just mentally, but he used to physically abuse her. He would beat her up, all kinds of stuff. And so she told him, I'm leaving you. I met somebody else. Like, we're done. And he got super upset. He said, like, I'm going to kill you. I'm going to do this. And I told her, I said, tell him, give him my number, and tell him if he has an issue, he can call me and we can talk like men. I can address it as a man with him. And he disappeared like that. Like, he never called her again. He left it alone. He was a coward. So when guys are acting manipulative and doing all these things, they're not doing their job as men. They're causing you... Obviously, you have to take responsibility for yourself, but also he needs to take some responsibility for his own actions and the way he's been showing up in the relationship as well. So forgive yourself, release it. I would do two things. One, I would visualize myself bathed in light, releasing any feelings of guilt, of negativity, whatever it is from my body. And I would actually go do something such as Kundalini yoga or yoga. Thank you, Mandy Cat. Mandy, do the overcome the fear of public speaking meditation. It was you I was thinking of. So I'm glad you're still on. Do that to overcome any rejection that you might be worrying about. Do that meditation. And then going back to Jessica, forgive yourself. Do some Kundalini. Do something like that to forgive yourself, to release any pent-up repressed energy. I love Kundalini yoga for that purpose. You'll feel super clean. You'll feel really good. And let all this be a new start to greater relationships and greater good. Okay, cool. Thank you. I definitely will try that. Awesome. Okay, cool. I'm glad I was able to be of service then today. Okay. And then let me see. Does anybody else have any questions for me or any? By the way, if you don't currently follow me, please do. Hey, Daddy. Hey. Hey, King North Star. What up? If you have any questions, feel free to ask and be sure to follow me. I post 1 to 3 videos a day about this kind of stuff. It's helpful. It'll uplift your life. I study all these teachers that most people have never heard of, and then I take the meat and potatoes, so to speak, from their teachings and give them to you so that you can best apply them in your life. So I want to see, does anyone else have any other questions? We've been talking, for those of you who just tuned in, about the law of attraction, relationships, being confident. I mean, we've covered a number of things, life after death, and there's nothing that's off limits. And if there's no questions, then I think I will conclude the live for tonight. Thanks. You are awesome. Oh, as are you. I appreciate you all being here with me. It gives me a sense of purpose. I love sharing this stuff with people. It makes me come alive. You see how fast I start talking once. Simulation theory, that we're all living in a simulation. It's a theory. I can't prove it. I can't disprove it. Yeah, no, I know that's what you meant. That's why I said that. So he has to take some responsibility too for the way he showed up in the relationship as well. So forgive yourself, forgive him, and move on to higher ground. And let your next relationship be so bright and so beautiful that the whole world looks at you with awe and wonderment. Cool. And then simulation theory. Yeah, so it's simulation theory. It's a theory. But if you really want to have fun with the simulation theory, start thinking something you've never thought before. This is a great way, by the way, good question, to apply the law of attraction. Start thinking something you've never thought before and see if you can attract it. It's either Esther Hicks or it's in the book. It's in a book by Richard Bach. He gives an exercise where he says, see if you can manifest a blue feather. And so I want you to close your eyes every day, see and feel a blue feather, and see how long it takes you before a blue feather shows up somewhere in your reality. And then life starts to get interesting when you start doing experiments like that. So you can start thinking something totally different than what your current reality and watch things shift. It reminds me of one time I needed to manifest some money fast. So I just started walking around telling myself, I'm rich, 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 just over and over, just beating this idea that I'm rich into my head. Ding, 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 you know. So I'm saying this over and over and over again for an hour or two or however long. And my friend calls me. He said, hey, Tony, I have these two girls who want personal training sessions. Or excuse me, this girl who wants personal training. Can you train her tonight? I said, I don't know. I didn't personal train anybody at the time. I said, I don't know anything. I mean, I was in super great shape and I had gotten my friends into shape to fight other people, but I wasn't doing any type of actual, PTs to help people just get into general shape. And he's like, I know you can do it. You're super overqualified for it. I think it really helped them out. So I said, okay. So I said, I'll help that girl. So I go to the gym that day that I used to manage. And when I arrive at the gym, this woman asked me, she said, I was talking to her. She said, Tony, do you do personal training? I said, yeah, actually I do. Because I had that client that night. And she said, what are your rates? And I told her, and she's like, here, she paid for a month in advance. And then that girl brought a couple of her friends and they brought some friends. And it was as if that whole day my business was built in one day. All from that idea, I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich, I'm rich, that I was just pounding into my head. So start to affirm something as you walk around and just try it and watch what shows up in your life. It can really work miracles when you understand this process. Now, I see a bunch of questions came in, so let's answer them. Oh, yeah, I'm glad you're here too. Thank you for being here. It touches me. Okay. I feel bad because my last ex was so good to me and didn't deserve it. We had a 7-year friendship and 3 relationships. I'm confused. I thought your ex was toxic and manipulative. So let me know, because now I'm a little confused. So, oh snap. I'm doing the blue feather. Oh, okay, cool. It's in the book. Let me see if I can pull it up right now. Don't go anywhere, anybody. I'll pull it up. It's by Richard Bach. So, and it's a very good book. For the person who asked me about Jesus, it's a very good book. Richard Bach books. Okay, I'll tell you right now. He wrote Jonathan Living's. Oh yeah, it's Illusions is the name of the book. So it's Illusions by Richard Bach. You can probably find it online for free. Fantastic book. So Illusions by Richard Bach, and it talks about the blue feather exercise. But try it out and see it and feel it and see how long it takes you to manifest the blue feather. This might sound strange, but I'm trying to manifest a magical destiny like Sailor Moon. Seriously. It doesn't need. Don't let it seem strange. See the end result and feel it of whatever it is you want. My friend told me one time that he was going to win the lotto. Okay, I mean, that sounds super strange. So he would tell himself every day, he would get his lotto ticket and he'd tell me, God's going to bless me, God's going to bless me, God's going to bless me. And that's what he would beat into his head. And he ended up winning $2 million. $2 million. And doesn't have to work for the next, it's been a few years since he won it, but he's got 17 more years of payments where he's just chilling. So your job is just to decide the what, let the universe decide the how. And so if it's, I have so many of my friends that are world champion fighters. If you tell somebody I want to be a world champion fighter, they're going to think you're crazy. But my friends manifested it. I manifested meeting all these different celebrities that I wanted to meet. I manifested so many cool things. So try it out. Just decide on what it is you want. See it, feel it, and watch what happens. Sorry, I just have a rough 9 months since this breakup. Things are going to shift for you now, Jessica. Now. I want you to... I should, by the way, make a forgiveness meditation or affirmation track or video. Send me a DM to remind me and I'll make something for you. Send me, by the way, a DM and I'll send you some daily tracks to listen to, just to listen to positive affirmations so that your conscious will shift and your focus will change from what took place in the past towards your bright future. 3 things that control your state of mind are your physiology, your focus, and your language. For you to feel negative, you have to be focusing on that breakup, but start to focus on your breakthrough, who you're going to be, how much good is in store for you, and watch yourself feel better. And then, okay. You're staying strong and doing a lot of self-reflecting and healing. Yeah, a good affirmation for you, I mentioned this earlier, is I am well, strong, and full of courage. Or every day in every way I'm getting better and better. Or say both of them. Have you watched The Secret on Netflix? Not only did I watch The Secret on Netflix, I am The Secret. I watched it and there's a guy in it, the black guy with the dreadlocks. That's Reverend Beckwith. And I actually went to his spiritual center, and I got super involved. I first started volunteering, and then I started taking classes, and then I became a licensed practitioner through that spiritual center. So I spent 5 years of my life there learning and growing and assisting people. So I'm a big fan of The Secret. The Secret only focuses on a few select parts of the law of attraction. It doesn't go in depth into it, for instance, the way I do in my course. So there's a lot more to it than just that small portion. But I think it's a good introduction or start for people. I've been manifesting since I was 12 without knowing about the law of attraction. Absolute. First, everybody's manifesting whether they realize it or not. But the trick is to become a conscious manifester and manifest what it is you want. I cheated with a toxic ex on my recent boyfriend. Okay, so that's good to know. That's good to know, because I want you to ask yourself, if you were with this guy that seemed good, that was so sweet, what was it that attracted you to your toxic ex? What feeling, is it something about your self-worth? Whatever it is, it's time to get clear on that, so that issue doesn't become, so that's not an issue in the future. It works, absolutely. Do you think religion has a connection to the law of attraction? Absolutely. So the Bible, let's take the Bible, the holy book. That the Bible is nothing more than a metaphysical book. The whole book is about metaphysics. According to your faith, so be it unto you. Call that which is unseen as if it is seen, and it becomes seen. All of it is the law of attraction in motion once you understand it and learn how to apply it. When you go in, what is it? When you say your prayers, don't say them the way, thank you, Mandy. Don't say them the way the heathens do with their vain repetitions. You want to go and, don't just recite things over and over without any feeling. See and feel the end result of what it is you want, and watch things show up in your life. So yeah, the whole Bible is a book of faith. It's just one giant book of metaphysics. There's a correlation between the two. There is no contrast. That's all the coins I have. Thanks. I appreciate that. Girl, that's very nice of you. And then, does anybody else have any other questions for me or anything else you'd like to discuss? There's nothing that's off limits. We can talk about anything. This is a safe space. It's an open forum for me. I'll talk about, I'll discuss anything you want. Have you read any of Dr. Wayne Dyer's material? Yes. So one idea that I got from Wayne Dyer that I really liked, by the way, I like to always go back to the source. So Wayne Dyer was a big fan of Joel Goldsmith. Thank you. I was afraid to open up to a bunch. No. You're welcome. And if you ever need anything, I'm here. We're all here to support each other. We're all here to grow. We've all made mistakes. That's part of life. I've cheated on somebody way in the past. I felt super guilty about it. And then I asked myself, what was going on? And then I addressed it so that I would never repeat that mistake in the future. And I would have healthy relationships with people from that moment forward. So, it's a learning process. Unfortunately, when we come to Earth, when we incarnate, there's not some instruction. How big is it, sir? I'm not sure what you mean, but let me know. When we come here, unfortunately, there's no guidebook that we receive on our first day here. This is how to go through life. That would be great if there was. So we're learning this as we go along, and sometimes we make mistakes, and that's where, you learn, you forgive yourself, and then you grow, and you get better. You evolve. So you said... Okay, have I read any of Dr. Wayne Dyer's material? Oh yeah, so Wayne Dyer, he was a student, or he was a big fan of Joel Goldsmith. I love Joel Goldsmith. He's freaking amazing. He wrote the book, The Art of Spiritual Living, and I think the book, The Art of Spiritual Healing as well. He had so built up, he tells this story where he would go to pray for this woman who had tuberculosis, and he saw her once, twice, 3 times, 4 times. Every time he'd pray for her, nothing would happen. She wouldn't get well, but he kept seeing her, and he kept building up in his consciousness that there is no tuberculosis. There's only God. There's only this spirit of perfection flowing within this woman. And he so built that up in his consciousness that after he got to this divine realization that there is no disease, there's only God, there's only wellness, she got well, and he said if anybody ever called him and told him that they had tuberculosis, he said he would pray for them and they would instantly get well, because in his consciousness, he would not see disease. He would see the perfection of God, and by seeing it in that other person, it would be brought forth and being expressed as health. So I'm a big fan of Joel Goldsmith. Check him out, The Art of Spiritual Living or The Art of Spiritual Healing. And then Wayne Dyer One exercise that I got from him that I really liked was he was a big fan of feeding your inner child. He said if there was things that you wanted to do as a kid that you're not doing now, go do them now. So to me, it was common sense. So I started doing all this fun stuff. I learned how to paint. I went horseback riding. I went and did a kickbox. Well, that was just a goal I wanted to do. I went and did a kickboxing fight. I started doing all this stuff. I would take myself out to really nice lunches, really nice dinners. My childhood was really rough. I grew up in a very rough not a rough neighborhood, but a rough background. My father went to prison when I was really young for 16 years. And I said, you know what? I'm going to start doing for myself all the things I wanted to do or I wish I had done growing up. So I started doing them. And then when you do stuff like that for yourself, your self-esteem improves and you feel good about yourself and you feel good about your life. So yeah, I'm a big, I'm a fan of Wayne Dyer's. And then let me see. Amen. And then what's Taoist? Wayne Dyer is a Taoist. There's a famous book. I can't believe the name of it is eluding me right now. The Tao Te Ching. I think he actually got in trouble. Not I think, I know. He got in trouble because he copied like whole excerpts from somebody else, and that person sued him for plagiarism. I'm not familiar with Taoism the way I am with other things, so I can't speak about it in depth. Awesome vision board, thank you. No worries, sometimes that's best. Who's that behind you? Just my vision board with various pictures. Success, a Lamborghini. My next car I want is going to be a Lamborghini. And then just various things I want to see. Unleash the Power, that's from Tony Robbins. I went and saw him before and I want to see him again. Lao Yu. Okay, I asked that because I had a child ask me the same thing when a vision board was behind my head. Yeah, and by the way, if you haven't made a vision board, make one. Put pictures up of what you want to see. They say that scientists say that 87% of all the impressions you receive every day is done through sight. So start to show your subconscious images of you succeeding, images of you doing well, images of you having what it is you want. Hi, his I Am meditation. Is that the one where he I don't know if that's the one. He has a meditation where he does the oh and the for manifesting. So I've done that one before. Yeah. Okay. Cool. Oops, Lao you. Are you trying to say Lao Zu? I thought you were trying to say love you. I was going to say love you too. All right, cool. So let me know if anybody has any other questions. If not, it's I've been speaking for about 2 hours now. Let me see, another message came in. If you want me to go over vision boards really quick, let me know, and I'll give you a way. I'll say how you can make yours more powerful, and then if not, then if there's no questions, I'll wrap up today. And I'm in no rush, by the way. If you have questions, feel free to ask whatever it is that you like. I enjoy this time. Thanks for taking the time. Oh, yeah, absolutely. I'm here for your growth. I want to see you succeed. Me knowing all this stuff, yeah, it does something for me. Oh, okay, cool. I'll talk about vision boards. So vision boards, what's a vision board? It's a piece of cardboard that you cut out pictures of what it is you want. Now, if you're going to make a vision board, make sure you make yours. Oh, okay, good. When you make yours, set it at a height. Oh, okay, good. Set it at a height about 20 degrees higher than, what's it going to do? Oh, okay, cool. I'll tell you that in one sec, Jess. So set your vision board about 20 degrees higher than your current height. The reason being is when you look up at your vision board, it causes your brain to begin to go to alpha. And alpha is a state, beta is when you're awake. Alpha is a state of deeper meditation, or is a state of mind that takes place when you start to go into deep meditation. So it's as if the trapdoor to your subconscious begins to open. So these images, you show it, will start to go into your subconscious. Now, when you look at whatever it is that you want, see it, you're showing yourself this Lamborghini, for instance, and I see myself in the picture. I see myself and I feel myself driving it. Feeling is the secret. The more feeling that something has, the faster it'll get impressed on your subconscious and the quicker it'll manifest in your life. Now, I want you to make sure you put up a picture of you on the vision board. Ideally, you can, if you want to get married, cut out a couple that you like and put your picture up over one of the people. Or if somebody's driving the car you want, put your head over the driver's head. That way it seems more real to you. Your subconscious will see this image and say, oh, that's me driving that car. Your subconscious doesn't know the difference between what's real and what's false. If you start showing yourself images such as these, it'll go to work to make them a reality. Now, what most people do wrong when they make vision boards is they'll look at it. Obviously, the reason vision boards work is through repetition and emotion, these ideas get implanted in your head. By emotion, I mean feeling what it is you want, and repetition, just showing it to yourself every day. Just like we read we learn the ABCs through constant repetition, and at first we weren't good, but now we have them. When you show yourself these images every day, they'll start to get impressed more and more and more on your subconscious. It's as if, let me see if I have it. Here, I'm going to use this as an example. Here's your image, and you have it. Here's your subconscious, and you put it in, and every day you're just hammering it in until it's in there, and then it starts to operate. Now, there was something I wanted to say. Oh yeah, what most people do wrong is they'll just look at their vision board for a second. What I want you to do is look at it for at least a minute. Why? Because it takes 34 seconds on average for an idea to go from your conscious mind into your subconscious. So I say a minute because a lot of people cannot concentrate at all. Their mind is here and there and here and there and here, everywhere. So look at it for at least a minute. Feel, yeah, exactly. Absorb it. Let it go into your consciousness. So your subconscious will start to create it for you. Another thing you can do is you can play powerful music before looking at it. You can put up affirmations on it and recite the affirmations and then look at it. Also stand tall. Well, you have to if you have it up, and then breathe deep and see it and feel it. You can also make a vision statement, which is you take either Google Slides or PowerPoint slides, and you put up a picture of what you want with an affirmation above it. For instance, if you want to be rich, you can show yourself the lifestyle you want, and then put your picture in it as well. And you can set the timer for 1 minute, so each slide will come for a minute. And then you can have music attached to each slide, or music playing the whole time, and it'll put you in this super powerful state of mind. You'll feel great while looking at your board. And what's going to happen is the amplitude or the wavelength of what you're putting out is going to be so strong that you have to attract what matches up with it. Another thing that a lot of people do is they talk in metaphysics all the time about raising your vibration. That's where you go from like fear to peace to love, which is good. That's great. That's what you want to do. You want to raise your vibration. But most people don't talk about amplitude. Amplitude is holding a thought long enough so that brain cells begin vibrating. Within your brain cells are electrons. And when those electrons start to vibrate, they go out and land on people. And those people bring to you what it is you want. So you want to hold that image, that feeling for at least 34 seconds so that the amplitude, those brain cells vibrate long enough and strong enough to bring to you what it is you want. So I recommend looking at it for at least a minute. And I'm going to tell two manifestation stories. One from the Vision movies. Yes, I have a YouTube channel. It's just Tony Namey. And I talk about this type of stuff longer. So I'm going to tell two stories. One from a vision board, one from a vision movie. You can call them vision statements or vision movies. And I don't know how to make a Discord, so send me a message, please, and let me know, and I'll make one. I'm not sure what it is. So, oh, perfect. Yeah, please, one of you send me a message about it, and I'll make it. So one day when I first made my vision board, I asked myself, like, is this real? Is this false? Is this nonsense? Is it just, I was the only one into these type of things that I knew, and everybody in my family, thought I was crazy. So I was like, man, am I crazy or are they crazy for not believing this? And I was going back and forth in my head. So I said, let's demonstrate it. It's one thing to know this stuff. It's another thing to actually demonstrate it. I want you to be practitioners, to practice this stuff and get the results you want. So I put up a picture on my vision board of Paris Hilton. And every day for 30 seconds, I would look at the board and I would say to myself, Paris Hilton, Paris Hilton, Paris Hilton, Paris Hilton, Paris Hilton, for 30 seconds. And then I'd go about my day. And the first day, nothing happens. There's no Paris Hilton. Second day, nothing happens. No Paris Hilton. Third day, my friend calls me for dinner. He goes, hey, Tony, you want to go to dinner? I'm like, sure. So we go to this restaurant, and we're waiting for our other friends to pull up. And this car pulls up, and they drop off this beautiful blonde woman. And, it's Paris Hilton. And she's just standing there, and I'm just standing next to her. And we start chatting it up while she's waiting for her friends to go park the car. And so I got to meet her, and it was a great demonstration that this stuff works. When you get clear on what it is you want, your subconscious can bring it to you in marvelous ways. In fact, it'll blow your mind once you really start applying this stuff. If I consciously tried to figure out how I'm going to meet Paris Hilton, it would have been almost impossible for me. But it took 3 days of me focusing on it, and I ended up manifesting her. Now, another story. When I was doing my vision movies, I had one of the pictures that I had up was Unreal. I read it. Yeah, awesome. One of the pictures that I had up was, it was a picture of Rob Kamen, who, in my opinion, is one of the greatest kickboxers of all time, maybe the greatest of all time. And then, or he's definitely one of the greatest Muay Thai fighters of all time. And then Higan Machado, who's one of the greatest jiu-jitsu fighters of all time. So I had both of them up on one of the pictures, and it said, "I am a world champion," or something along that line. And so every day my images would come up, and Rob and Higan would pop up. And I would see the feelings of them training me and me doing great and me being, having my hand raised after a match. So I'm doing this for about a week. And my friend's wife calls me. She said, "Hey, Tony, we're throwing a surprise party for Pete. Don't tell him, it's going to be up in LA. Pete's one of my really good friends." She said, "I'd appreciate it if you can come." So I said, "Great, yeah, I'll be there for sure. No problem. I'm not going to say anything to him." So I go to his surprise birthday party, and I'm sitting down. And who comes and sits next to me? Rob Kamen and Higan Machado. The odds of that happening are 1 in a billion. And Higan and I'm good friends with both of them to this day, actually. Higan is my boy, and Rob, he lives overseas, so I don't get to see him that much. And Higan actually ended up training me in jiu-jitsu. So my vision board ended up becoming real. Another time, Dad's mom's mad. Can you come back home? I'm not sure what you mean, Jesse, but let me know. Oh, are you? Oh, okay. Are you my dad? I am not, unless I'm your illegitimate father. So, but I will act as the proxy for him right now and teach you some great stuff. So, okay. So back to what I was saying. So vision statements. Now, another time, I'm telling you these stories so that I hope they increase your faith, because the more faith you have in the process, the faster your results will be. Because remember, emotion impresses your subconscious with these ideas, which causes them to manifest. Another time, I put up these two models. These two famous models, both of them were Playboy playmates that I wanted to meet. I was young at the time. I was like, hey, I would love to meet these two women. These are like my dream women. So I had this really popular MMA site at the time that I owned. And I used to have a model of the week where I'd put up different models. So one day I get a call from this guy. "Hello, is this Tony?" And I'm like, "Yes." And he's got like a real deep voice. He's like, "Hey, Tony, this is Star." And I'm like, "Okay, hi, Star." I've never met anybody named Star before. He's like, "Hey, I want to thank you for helping out my ladies." And I'm like, what are you talking about? He's like, your models of the week, those girls that so I had been putting up different models, not realizing that they were all managed by this guy, this one agent. And he said, "You've been getting them a ton of publicity." And I was like, "Oh, great. Well, I'm glad to help out." Like, "No problem. You're welcome." Like, I'm thinking that's the end of it. He's just calling to say thanks. And he's like, "I want to invite you. I'm going to be at a club this weekend." And he said, "I'm going to have these two models with me. I don't know if you know who they are." And it was the two models from my vision statement. So you can attract to yourself, stories, things, people that will absolutely blow your mind when you start applying this stuff. In fact, it's beyond human comprehension. That infinite intelligence is so much more powerful than your limited finite mind that it'll totally transform things for you. So try it out. Either make a vision statement, and I have, by the way, my videos. I call them vision movies or vision statements. Make one of those, or make a vision board and watch things accelerate and skyrocket for you. By the way, if your vision boards aren't taking off, the reason being is, let's say you're visualizing what it is you want for that 2 or 3 minutes a day. The reason they're not taking off is because the other 90% of your time, you're focused on lack and negativity and what's not working. So you're setting up a counter vibration to what you just put forth a moment ago. If you're at a restaurant, imagine you're at a really nice restaurant and you order something from the menu, do you become fearful that the chef's not going to bring it? Of course not. You get excited about it. You know it's going to show up. Excuse me. It's going to be fantastic. It's going to taste great. Your mouth starts watering in anticipation of it. So show that same type of courtesy to the divine, the infinite intelligence within you. It's more powerful than any chef. It can bring you things that will blow your mind, that'll absolutely astound you. So just get clear on what it is you want. Feel the feelings of the end result for at least a minute. And then during the rest of your day, don't go into negativity. Don't go into lack. Don't talk about how bad things are. Tell yourself, I'm the richest person in the world. I'm blessed beyond measure. My life is great. I'm more fortunate than anybody that's ever lived. Affirm the positive to yourself and watch things show up for you that'll astound you. Your friends will talk about how lucky you are. But it's not luck. It's you putting forth the energy of what it is you want and attracting according to your vibration. Okay, so when did you make it? I made this a few months ago. I had on the other side some women in it, and then I started dating this woman, and she said, if you don't take down your vision board, I'm going to kill you. The women in it, so I took that down. And thank you, Get Gold. I want you to get gold too. I want you to get lots of gold. Jesse, if you don't stop playing, I'm going to spank you. I thought you were getting cigarettes. Okay. When did you make the vision board? Can you make a vision board for the pandemic? Absolutely. You can make a vision board for anything. Your vibration affects everyone and everything. I've read so many metaphysical teachers talk about that the greatest thing that you can give to the world is your vibration. So be aware of what energy you're putting out. Show yourself the end result. Even though it might seem silly, there's only one subjective mind. This is the theory. I can't demonstrate this, but the theory is that there's only one subjective mind. So implant into your subjective mind that there is no pandemic, that there is just pure love, that there is pure peace, that all this works together somehow for good. And even if you're the only one that's doing it, Esther Hicks talks about how one person in alignment is greater than a million people not in alignment, and watch things start to shift. And if it doesn't show up for the mass consciousness of humanity, at least it'll show up for your sphere of radiation, those people that you directly impact and influence, and it'll be something positive for them. Great question. I have a question. The most difficult part manifesting for me is letting go. So here's a good thing to do. So I would recommend setting aside times that you manifest, that you consciously manifest, you feel the feelings of the end result, and then from there you just get to work on the rest of your day. And then don't think about it. And if it starts coming up and you start wondering if is it done or is it not done, tell yourself, no, I already manifested for the day. I already consciously manifested. I'm going to trust now in God or the divine, whatever you'd like to call this power, and I'm going to go do my work now. It's time to get into action and get working. So take your mind off it. Don't try to figure it out or worry about it or any of those things. Set aside some time in the morning at night or morning, noon, and night where you consciously manifest, you feel what it is you want, and then take your mind off it the rest of the day. Don't be a victim. Yeah, exactly. Start taking action. Perfect. You got it. Get gold. If I tell my brain to stop thinking of something, it will think of that. Yes. If you tell your brain, don't think of a purple elephant, it'll start thinking of a purple elephant. So instead, start telling it what you want to think about. Tell your brain, ask yourself questions such as, how does it get better than this? How does my life get better than this? How do things get better than this? What good is in store for me next? How do I become even more successful? Ask empowering questions. You'll get empowering answers. Or tell your brain is a problem-solving mechanism. Tell it, go find me something good to do. Go find some more wealth in my life. Make me richer. And then let it go off and start to look for ways to do that for you. Can you also do this with forgiveness, aka my ex? Yes. I didn't think of this sooner. Otherwise, I would have done this. You can write out, 5 things I like about my ex, or 10 things I like about my ex, and start to see those feelings. You can even put in there forgiving, and start to feel those feelings of appreciation and love for your ex, and you'll be putting forth a positive vibration towards him, and he'll become that list. Also, just see the end result of what it is you want with your ex. It's is it you two shaking hands, him telling you he forgives you, or you two hugging and embracing. See the end result, feel it, and you're putting out a vibration, and you have to attract something that matches up with it. And it's that simple. And see yourself shining bright and him shining bright, and let both of you be doing well. Or you could do the process from Neville Goddard's teachings. It's entitled, or it's about how to heal a friend. Relax your body, relax your mind, so you can go through and relax every muscle in your body. Then count down from 30 to 1 to relax your mind, and then bring your ex up onto the screen of your mind and have him tell you how great he's doing, how much he forgives you, how much he loves you, how he's moved on, he's doing great. And then you congratulate him for how amazing he's doing. And then after that, allow yourself to gently wake up, and that will shift things for him and it'll shift things for you. Okay, this man is saying truth. Thank you, Get Gold. I appreciate that. I didn't get the joke, Summer, so there's nothing to apologize about. It's a good point. Thank you. Awesome. Do you meditate on manifestations? Yeah, I like to relax my body and relax my mind, because when I do, the trap door to my subconscious is open. And then from there, there's 2 ways to do there's 2 ways to get an idea in your subconscious. One is just through repetition and emotion like, I am strong, I am the best, I am, and just smashing it in. Or the other one is just the gentle way. You relax your body, and when you relax your mind, your subconscious begins to open, and then or the trapdoor to your subconscious begins to open, and you can just plant in it whatever you want. So I do both, but I prefer the latter. Oh, that's awesome, King. I think that's great. But you know that Geico can save you 15% or more on car insurance? I got the best insurance. Geico needs to save me more if they're going to catch up with me. What are your favorite type of meditations? My favorite type of meditations are from the book, The Silva Method. I highly recommend getting that book, The Silva Method by Jose Silva. Or if you go on my YouTube channel, type in Tony Namey and then click playlists, you'll see all these meditations. I have gratitude meditations to start your day. I have daily prayer blessings if you want a blessing every morning that you can listen to. Affirmations for the start of your day. The Oath of Manifestation. I mean, a ton of great stuff for you all. Thank you. Oh, you're welcome. Your goals are your personal problem. Find solutions for them step by step. Absolutely. And show yourself for your goals the end result of what it is you want and feel it every day as if it's taking place. That way, it becomes real for you. Your subconscious will know this is me now. Those people who fail in achieving their goals, it's because they haven't impressed them on their subconscious. They're trying to use will when the images that they have in their subconscious are contrary to what it is they're trying to force themselves to do. So don't worry about willpower. Imagination is stronger than willpower. So imagine what it is you want, feel the end result, and let your subconscious get to work. Your subconscious, 90% of what you do is subconscious. You go to work the same way every day. You put your pants on the same way every day. You make the same meals, all the time. So make your subconscious work for you. Show it what it is you want. There's essentially almost no limit to what it can do, and let it get to work. Oh, you said, where did you say? Okay, your chakras must be fired up, brother. Keep up the good work. Oh, yeah, no, it's all good. Nothing but love here. We're good, Jesse. Much love to you, and thank you. I appreciate that. Okay. Do you think certain drugs facilitate or inhibit manifestation? I can't talk about this stuff because I'm answering your question, Flora Stefina. I'll say yes. I did DMT before, and it had a hugely powerful effect on me. However, the last time I spoke about it on my live, TikTok banned me, so I can't go in depth into it. We had a great discussion last time about it, but I can't talk about that stuff. For whatever reason, it bans me for 10 minutes if I do. So otherwise, I'd love to go in depth into that with you. I try money manifestations, and I do money rituals and baths. I almost speak it into existence. I agree. I think you should do stuff like that. You want money to be your friend. Money is energy. Money is energy. Within money, within a dollar bill is electrons. Within those electrons, there's a consciousness that's causing them all to vibrate. So tap into that. Tell yourself, money's attracted to me. Money wants to be my friend. I'm the richest man in the world. I am blessed beyond measure, and so on. I had one of my friends, I haven't been doing it now because everything's so cashless, but my friend and I used to always carry around at least $600 at all times. That way, every time you put your hand in your pocket, you get into that vibration of wealth. I also always have at least like $500 cash on me at all times just for that. I have it right here actually. Okay. You said, well, yeah, of course. Well, don't even worry about right now. Just focus on the end result, Jessica. Focus on the end result. See it and feel it and let things shift. Do the 2 processes that I outlined for you. And watch all the processes, including the yoga and all that stuff, and watch things shift. Your luck can never run out, Jesse. You have infinite luck. It's like saying the infinite power of God is going to run out. There's no such thing. You're blessed beyond measure. You're lucky at all times. You're always in the right place at the right time, doing the right thing. Your luck is infinite, and so, yeah, it's boundless. It can never run out. Okay, any tips on being positive and not worrying about it ever ending? Oh yeah, I think I just said that. So let me know. And I would show myself, Jesse, about your luck. Just show yourself images of you succeeding, of you winning, of things turning out in your favor, in everybody's favor, and that'll impress it on your subconscious, and you'll attract more and more favorable situations to yourself. All of you watching this, I want you to show yourself images every day of you winning, of you succeeding, of you being prosperous. Get into the flow. Make that your natural state of being. You want to be optimistic. You want to be healthy. You want to feel good. So make that your default state. Most people, that's why I have so much energy all the time. Most people, their default state of being is one of negativity, of lack, of not enoughness, not you. Focus on the good, focus on what works, focus on your health, see yourself feeling and having what it is you want, and watch things shift. Tony Robbins talks about how if 1 is like death and 10 is like exuberance, most people have their life, they live their whole lives like in a scale of like 3 to 6. He said you should constantly put yourself in states of 10, like where you just feel total joy, total peace, total harmony, so that when you're not consciously putting yourself in those states, you tend to live from like an 8 or a 9, which is still super amazing. Just make it a conscious effort to do that. Use your body, use your mind, use your voice, say affirmations, and that way your state will raise. Awesome. Okay, I'm glad you're helpful. I'm glad you're hopeful. Let me see. I see a bunch of questions came in, so I'm just making sure I answer everything. So, Paul, you said you really want to connect with your grandmother who recently passed. Will anxiety meds mess with the dream technique? No, the trick to that dream technique that I outlined for those of you who want to connect with a loved one, the main secret to the technique is relaxation. The more relaxed you are when you do that process, the more your subconscious will be open and receptive to the positive ideas that you give it. Cool. And then, make sure to have a pen and paper nearby to write out what happens when you wake up. Okay. I'm not sure what you want me to say to that, Anna, but let me know. So trippy. Okay, cool. Yeah, you can always connect. I mean, that's a connection that will definitely be there, Paul. Something about Orion. I don't know much about astrology. You asked about Orion's belt. So I don't know about. Some people are super into astrology. For me, I believe I'm a conscious manifester. I want you all to be conscious manifestors too. Focus on what it is you want, see it and feel it, and attract yourself that way. It doesn't matter where Orion is or isn't. It doesn't matter who is or isn't president. An affirmation or a belief that I have is everything is working out for my good. So use that affirmation. Tell yourself everything is working out for my good or together for my good. And then imagine what it is you want, see it and feel it, and life will be lived inside out for you. When coronavirus first hit, I told my coworkers, I said, I'm going to have my best month ever. We didn't know what, everybody was new. Nobody knew what coronavirus was yet. And everyone laughed. And I said, no, I will. And sure enough, I ended up having an amazing month because I put forth that intention and I backed it by my faith and my action. And I ended up having a fantastic month in sales. And you could too. Okay, cool. Yeah, Paul, just try the process. Trust the process. And she's on the other side, which is of a higher vibration. Paul asked if his grandma's okay. She's on the other side, which is of a much higher vibration than this. And so she's doing much better than she was on this side. Okay, cool. Juicy J, I see it. I want it. I got it. Awesome. Okay, cool. That's glad to hear, Jesse. Okay, so I've been talking for about more than 2 hours, 2.5 hours. So I'm going to conclude this session so I can go relax. Otherwise, I'll be wired for the rest of the night. Before I go, is there any other questions or anything pertinent or important that you have? If not, I can either pray us out or we can just conclude the session and we can all go on our day, whichever one you like. So if you want prayer, I'll do that. If you don't, we can all just fly away. And thank you, everybody. Thank you for the gifts. Thank you for listening. Be sure, if you don't follow me, please follow me. I post 1 to 3 videos a day of this type of content. Check out, this is my plug. Check out my e-course. I'll definitely say a prayer then. It's 8 hours in length and it's only $12.99 right now. So the price will go up for sure. It's just, I just put it up and I want to get a lot of sales and I want to help a lot of people. I put everything I know into it. This is 2.5 hours. Imagine another 5.5 hours with me. It'll teach you the A to Z's of metaphysics. So there's a link in my bio in case you want it. Now I'm going to pray us all out. So let me get comfortable. So everybody, go ahead and just close your eyes now. So everybody close your eyes. And let's all just take an easy, gentle breath. And taking another deep breath, just letting go of anything that came before this moment. And take one more deep cleansing breath, breathing in the breath of God now. And I begin all prayers with gratitude to anchor in the right feeling tone. So I am grateful. I am grateful to be here with these viewers right here and right now. Grateful for this discourse that has taken place during these last 2 hours, and grateful for this discourse that's about to take place with the Spirit of God. And I recognize that God is good, that there is only one Spirit, one activity, one presence ever taking place, and that is God, and God is good. I recognize that God is divine peace and harmony. There is no stress or tension within God. I recognize that God is infinite love. God never judges. God never criticizes. God is that divine infinite presence of love that always gives of its soul self. It has no withhold. I recognize that God is wholeness and perfection. There is nothing lacking or missing in God. And God is abundance and success, infinite, overflowing good that works everything together for everyone's good. And in this moment, I am one with the wholeness and perfection of God. I am one with God's divine peace and harmony. I am one with God's divine love and joy. All that God is, the totality of God, I am now. And as I know this to be true of me, I know this to be the absolute truth of everybody on this live right here and right now. I claim and call for such divine peace and harmony that from this moment forward, their lives are better, brighter, healthier, more uplifted than they have ever been before. I claim and call for such love and joy that they rise up. They rise up to higher heights than they have ever been. Their relationships shine with love and joy from this moment forward. Their lives are filled with love and joy. They are doing what they want to do in ways that are truly fulfilling for them. I claim and call for such love and joy that anything of a negative, discordant, destructive nature, be it in their bodies, their emotional bodies, the body of their affairs, is released, resolved, dissolved, and absolved once and for all, gone back into the nothingness from which it came, never to return. I claim and call for such love and joy that their relationships are brighter than they have ever been before. First and foremost, their relationship with themselves. So much self-esteem, so much self-appreciation, so much joy for who they are, that they are filled to overflowing with love from this moment forward. They are filled with so much love and joy that anyone who steps into their mental atmosphere, into their sphere of radiation, is instantly made more whole, more complete by being around the bright, beautiful energy that these viewers are bringing from this moment forward. I claim and call forth abundance and success, God's success flowing through them, so that they choose that which is right for them, the best relationships, the right career paths, the right investments, everything from the so-called micro to macro. It's all good, it's all God, and they choose that which is right for them in every moment of time and space. I claim and call forth wholeness and perfection for them. God's wholeness, God's perfection, so that they lack nothing. They have everything that they need to succeed, and they are succeeding now. I claim and call for such abundance that everywhere they look, they see good, they see God, they see success, they see opportunity, they see God's divine blessings operating in, through, and as them now. So I give thanks that as they go forward better than they have ever been before, healthier, more complete, more perfect in expression, more healthy and alive than they have ever been. I give thanks that as they go forward alive and in tune with God's good. They are God guided and God directed to that which is best and highest for them. I give thanks that as they go forward with the new spring in their steps, so to speak, the divine love and joy of God flowing through them in their days. Life is no longer something that they have to do or have to get through, but instead is something they get to do, something that they truly enjoy. And I release this prayer now. I release it knowing it is done. It was answered before I even asked. It is answered by that infinite intelligence and wisdom, that divine overflowing love known as God. So I release it. I take my hands off it. I allow it to be, knowing it is full and complete, just as these viewers are. And I say, and so it is. Amen. You are welcome. So go rest now in this positive energy. We've shifted things on your behalf, so expect good things to occur. Oh, awesome. I'm glad you were here too. Oh, okay, good. I sometimes feel weird when I pray at the end, not because I know good things are going to happen, but sometimes I'm like, what if they don't believe in prayer or it's weird to them? And I pray differently than other people. God is good all the time. Amen. So I'm glad you're here. I'm glad you allowed me to express my nature and stay in the positive expectation of the prayer. We've shifted things. There's that saying from the Bible, where 2 or more are gathered in my name, there I am amongst them. So we have 16 people in a spirit of harmony and unity in the name of God, focused on good. So watch what shows up in your life in the next, tomorrow, the next coming hours, the next few days. It's going to be good. And feel free to send me, a good note. If something good happens, let me know. I love hearing this stuff. I love seeing demonstrations. And when you get the blue feather, when it happens for you, write down your demonstrations. Write down what you manifest. You want to keep track of it so that you start to build up your faith and so that your manifestations will take place faster as a result of that. So I will be back on tomorrow night, 9:30 California time, around 9:30 California time. And feel free to check back in. And it's been an honor and a pleasure talking to you all. And peace and blessings. I will talk to you soon.